Hello, welcome. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Melly Garthwaite is absent. Councilman Brian Locks is absent. Councilwoman Ann Heffernan.
Councilwoman Ann Heffernan, 1st District, present.
Councilwoman Ruby Melton is absent. Councilwoman Sarah Akbarali.
Councilwoman Sarah Akbarali, 3rd District, present.
Councilman Gary Donovan.
Councilman Gary Donovan, 4th District, present.
Councilman Edward McMillan.
Councilman Edward McMillan, present.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan.
Councilwoman Dawn Callahan, 6th District, present.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker.
Councilwoman Catherine Tucker, 7th District, present.
Councilman Christopher Vargo.
Councilman Christopher Vargo, 8th District, present.
Councilwoman Katie Muller.
Councilwoman Katie Muller, 9th District, present.
Councilman Stephen Johnstone.
Councilman Stephen Johnstone, 10th District, present.
And Chairman Nicholas Pascal.
Chairman Nicholas Pascal, present.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, first up on our agenda at 6:50, we have a public hearing of the Finance Committee. Councilwoman Akbarali.
Thank you, Chairman. Time is now 7:01, and your public hearing on finance is now in session. So we have Communication D from the June 23rd, 2025 agenda from the Community Development Administration regarding approval of the program year 5-1 regarding approval of the block grant program year 51 budget. Does anyone from the public have any comments regarding this matter? Come right up. Name and address, please.
My name is Diane Dietman. I'm the Director of Youth and Family Services here for the city, 355 Main Street. So I come before you this evening in support for WHCDA and their proposed program year 51 budget for public services from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Thank you, Rosa. I want to share with you how important the CDA, the Citizens Advisory Committee, and this HUD grant they oversee for many nonprofit organizations, and including my department here at the city that rely on this funding. Specifically for West Haven Youth and Family Services, they provide essential programming, services for marginalized, low to moderate income West Haven families of diverse backgrounds whose children are diagnosed with various cognitive and social emotional disabilities. In order to accomplish the department's mission of providing services for families and youth in our community, funding sources like the grant from the federal and state agencies is essential, since Youth and Family Services from funding from the city was virtually non-existent for many decades. It wasn't until recently that we have received funding from you all for youth at risk programming. But this is a specific program geared towards more of our disabled population. So in order for us to continue our mission, we rely on the funding that we are receiving from HUD and CDA. And so we apply for that every year, and it's essential. And I know that it really would impact these families that we service if this budget doesn't pass. So I would really hope that you would consider supporting West Haven Community Development. I truly hope that you will vote in favor of PY 51 for the fiscal year 26, as recommended by the CDA Citizens Advisory Committee and as presented by the CDA representatives here, Rosa Richardson and and Ron Dumas. Without this funding, the services that my department provides for our families will be adversely affected, and many of the special activities planned for their enjoyment and camaraderie will not exist this year. So I appreciate you taking the time to review that and vote in favor of their budget. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else from the public have any comments?
Paige Weinstein, 20 Platt Avenue. As a member, I spoke at the last meeting when this budget came before you. As a member of the Community Advisory Committee, I want to just reiterate, we work so hard to take a small amount of money and apply it to programs that you're ready to pull out your checkbook and write checks to because of the fact that they are children at risk. It may be the rape center. It can be food for people that just don't know where their next meal is coming. So please understand the budget that comes before you. It is not something that we come to easily. It takes a lot of hard work, and we do our absolute best on this 100%. And Ron and Rosa, the work that they do is it's a God's gift to the people in the city. And so I just please ask you to approve this budget.
Thank you so much. Any other comments? For a second time, does anyone from the public have any comments regarding this matter? For a third and final time, does anyone from the public have any comments regarding this matter? Seeing there are none, the time is now 7:07, and your public hearing on finance is now closed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman.
Next up, we have another public hearing from the Public Lands Committee. Chairman Donovan.
Thank you, Chairman. Time is now 7:07, and the public session on public hearing on Public Lands Committee Communication G from June 23rd, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Bora regarding a request for approval of the sale of the following two properties: West Haven Housing Authority, DBA Savin Rock Communities, Inc., for $50,000. A .25 acre property located at 1185 Campbell Avenue with the city lot designation of map 60 and lot 124, and a .18 acre property located at 1189 Campbell Avenue with the city map lot designation of map 60 and lot 122 with an open space deed restriction is now open for the public. Does anybody from the public like to speak on this? For a second time, does anyone from the public like to speak on it? For a third and final time? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. The time is now 7:08, Chairman. Public hearing is closed on that.
Thank you very much. We will now enter into public session. The time is also 7:08. Would anyone like to speak before the City Council?
Rosa Richardson, 95 West Prospect Street, West Haven. I noticed on the agenda that we have representatives from our Fair Rent Commission here on the agenda for council approval this evening. Let me first tell you that the need has existed for many years, and there had been no Fair Rent Commission at all for the 16 years that I had been in the CDA office. And during that time, the majority of the housing complaints that came in were all sent to my department, which really has nothing to do with housing issues. But we were very welcoming, and we listened to them. But then, unfortunately, because we had nowhere to send them, we had to send them to our corporation council, which by all means is over and extended beyond a reasonable doubt to begin with. And the last thing they really needed to do was fair housing issues. I can tell you, since the new Fair Rent Commission has been in, it has been absolutely amazing. We will still welcome somebody who comes into our department, but it's nice to be able to refer them. And I have heard nothing but positive comments from any constituents that come into our department or on the outside. And I just want to say, let's keep it the way it is, because it's working and it's working well. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak before the City Council?
Hi, I'm Kathy Hebert. I live at 166 Bloom Street, West Haven. And I just wanted to say thank you to Mayor Dorinda Boer and the Council and Public Works and whoever else helped out with this. There is a giant portable camera on Marginal Drive, something I've been dreaming about for years. And I'm affiliated with a group, West River Watershed Coalition, and we have a team of people who clean up there 3-4 times a week. And New Haven Parks Department, Public Works, and West Haven Public Works have been really good, but they've had to clean up, especially New Haven Parks Department, 1 to 5 times a week, almost entire households worth of garbage. For example, if you had a contractor that remodeled your kitchen, they took your old cabinets and backed up their truck and dumped it on Marginal Drive. I mean, and I could go on. But anyway, the team that's been cleaning up, the last 2.5 weeks that I've known about the camera have said they have not had to clean up or have the Parks Department come pick up anything. And we're doing a cleanup this weekend, 9 to 11. You're all invited. Marginal Drive, meet at the picnic tables, which the Boy Scouts built and put on Marginal Drive. And I'll let you know next meeting how that went. But we're hoping, we're going to pick up mild trash, light trash. That's going to happen. But we were getting entire house full of stuff. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Would anyone else like to speak before the City Council? Ms. Weinstein?
Paige Weinstein, 20 Platt Avenue. 2 years ago, Steve Mullen and I were opponents on the Republican mayoral candidate race. If anybody had told me that 2 years later I would be sitting here talking about Steve, I would have lost that bet, just straight out. Since then, we've put our differences aside because we share one very common thought and commitment. It's our commitment to West Haven. At the end of the day, that's what matters. It's the idea of what we both want to do and how we both want to make an impact on the city, probably which is why we both ran. That's why I'm here to support Steve's reappointment to the Fair Rent Commission today. As an employer in the Allingtown section of West Haven, I work with many employees who are renters. I've listened to their frustrations about unlivable housing conditions, unpredictable rent increases, and fear the retaliation if they speak up. I truly understand how these issues impact not only the quality of their life, but their ability to stay and work in our city. The Fair Rent Commission plays a vital role in giving those residents a voice and a fair process. And under Steve's leadership, that process has become more accessible, transparent, and effective. The direct benefit this commission provides, they're real, and can be seen reflected in the stability and peace of mind it brings to working families in this community. Steve has served as commissioner and chair of the Fair Rent Commission, and he's done an outstanding job. This isn't just about titles for Dr. Mullins. It's about the results we're seeing. The creation of this commission and the progress it's made is a real success. I've seen the impact firsthand through my work on the Citizen Advisory Committee, as Rosa was just saying, and the progress it's made in helping for them to be able to concentrate on other work instead of having all of that come through them. In the past, they bore the brunt of the housing complaints, and now they're spending so less time managing tenant-landlord disputes because the Fair Rent Commission is handling them directly and effectively. That kind of support makes a real difference in this town and how it operates and how services are delivered. Originally appointed by Mayor Bohr for his decades of housing experience, Steve hasn't just shown up, he's put in the work. He took the lead as chair, helped raise awareness about the Fair Rent Commission, and he's made the process more accessible for tenants by creating a clear YouTube channel or post. And he makes sure that the applications are easy to find here in City Hall. He's been around West Haven government long enough to understand how everything works. He spent 16 years on the planning and zoning, many of them as chair or vice chair. Whether it's in a meeting room or a hallway conversation, Steve brings a calm, practical voice that gets things done. There were many times my voice would raise, his voice would not in our previous communications. So let's keep the momentum going. I respectfully ask the council to reappoint Steve Mullins to the Fair Rent Commission, not because of who he was 2 years ago, but because what he's done since and how he continues to help the people of West Haven. I also would like to make a comment about the body cameras that are going to come before you today. Upgraded body cameras and dash cams enhance transparency and accountability in law enforcement, helping build public trust and reduce misconduct. They provide high-quality evidence that can expedite investigations, support prosecutions, while protecting officers from false claims. By documenting interactions accurately, they can reduce the city's liability in lawsuits and complaints, ultimately lowering legal costs and insurance premiums. Upgrading our equipment will only help us. And my time is up, and I thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak before the city council, sir?
Dominic Konowski, 113 Fenwick Street. Good evening, City Council. I am here tonight to speak on behalf of Quigley Stadium, which is located in West Haven's 4th District at 362 Front Ave. Mr. Donovan, I'm sure that you're very familiar with Quigley Stadium, being you are the councilman of District 4. For those who don't know about Quigley Stadium, it is one of the oldest sites in West Haven. Many of you probably drive by it, just seeing it as a regular baseball stadium, not knowing the history behind it. So very quickly, for those who don't know, Satchel Paige pitched a complete game there. Willie Mays, before he was even known as the superstar Hall of Famer that he is now, played there when he was still a minor. And then Mickey Mantle donned his famous New York Yankee uniform years after retirement to put on an expedition home run derby, which ultimately failed. That was actually one of the last times he ever wore a Yankee jersey. So essentially, there's a lot of history that Quigley Stadium has, and seeing on how it sat neglected for so many years now, it's very sad to see. Now, bringing up a 1988 New York Times article, I'm going to highlight a quote made by then West Haven Mayor Guerrero, who told the New York Times that the city loses around $75,000 a year in maintaining it. Now, that was in 1988. Minor League Baseball left the stadium in West Haven in 1982. So just 6 years after minor league baseball left, West Haven was already in a pretty sizable hole. And ways to reconstruct the baseballness of Quigley Stadium, bringing back the game to the stadium and improving it, has been going on ever since the mid to late 80s. We're now in 2025, and highlighting a quote from Mayor Bohr. In March of 2025, she said that the city is still evaluating the future of Quigley Stadium, which is honestly crazy to me considering the fact this whole evaluation process has seemingly gone on for nearly 40 years now. I'm 21 years old in September, and this evaluation process started nearly 20 years before I was even born. I would love to know the current plan, if there is any plan at this point, for long-term preservation for the stadium, and also why has West Haven, who has owned the stadium since 1951, has had such a difficult time maintaining it? Now, I understand there's a lot of factors that go into maintaining any building, especially a baseball stadium. It's outside year-round, you deal with the elements. But considering the fact that the stadium sits in ruins when it's still active, it's used by the West Haven Twilight League in the summer and subsequent games by Notre Dame West Haven that has been shaky playing there over the past 2-3 years now. But nonetheless, it's still being used, and yet it's in deep despair. Now, this is not my first time speaking about Quigley Stadium. I spoke here in front of the City Council back in October of 2023, and I called it a field of broken dreams, and it still feels that way. As a former player of the West Haven Twilight League myself in 2024, playing at Quigley Stadium, I could tell you it's a wreck. It's embarrassing to the city, and frankly, it's embarrassing to baseball that it's even called a baseball stadium at this point. I mean, the dugouts are a mess, the press box not even connected to electricity, and then you have the bullpens just overcome with overgrown shrubbery and broken plates. It's utterly embarrassing. And highlighting a 2011 interview with former West Haven Yankees owner Lloyd Kahn, he said it himself that the final decision to relocate the West Haven Yankees, a four-time champion, AA champion of the Eastern League, out of West Haven was due to the city of West Haven not upgrading the lights or improving clubhouse facilities. Now, it seems like lighting issues are still one of the biggest issues that plague the stadium today. So that right there is very sad to see that that issue from the 1970s is still present here in 2025. And I would just love to see the city just be more active in preserving Quigley Stadium. I know that there have been comments from people in both city officials and just regular citizens of West Haven who are, against Quigley Stadium becoming a historical site because it has, it's both pros and cons. But nonetheless, I would just love to have the city at least consider applying for a state or federal grant or even partner with a private organization to help fund improvements. And if the city council could commit to a public forum or a working group that includes residents, athletes, and/or historians, that would be great and much appreciated. Thank you all.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak before the City Council?
I'm switching hats now. I don't know how you would like me to handle this. I'm going to read a
Name
statement.
and address again,
Well,
unfortunately.
I'm going to read a statement from Communication Workers of America, business agent Kevin Campo. Do you want it's regarding the contract?
Okay.
The supervisors, do you want me to state his name and address?
No, yours
or-
is fine with this
Okay.
address if you want.
With his with address?
This address, 355 Main.
Okay. Again, Diane Dietman, 355 Main Street. I'm going to read a statement from Kevin Campo, business agent for Communication Workers of America, 1103. He represents the city supervisors here, of which I am one of those individuals. To the honorable members of the City Council, good evening. My name is Kevin Campo, and I am a business agent for CWA Local 1103. I have represented the City Supervisors Unit since 2013. Unfortunately, I cannot attend tonight's council meeting because I'm away on a vacation. And greatly needed, I'm sure. The tentative agreement reached between the city and CWA is on tonight's agenda, and I would like to make a statement. This agreement is the result of diligent negotiations and collaborative discussions between the union and the city. It represents the fair treatment of our dedicated employees and reinforces positive relationships. It cares for the concern of retaining the city's workforce as well as a recruiting tool for future new employees. It represents a balance of outcome for all parties involved. I have always considered employers I have dealings with as partners over adversaries. West Haven is no different. The city has endorsed a very good agreement that my members and I appreciate. I would like to express my gratitude to the city's bargaining team and to Mayor Boer. When bargaining isn't contentious and both sides are truly trying to do the best for their respective groups, in most cases, positive outcomes are the result. My bargaining team and I respectfully ask the City Council members to fully support CWA 1103 Supervisor's ratification of the contract tentative agreement with the city. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Weinstein?
Good evening, everyone. There was a time when I was a regular up here, and there was lots of things to talk about, and not many of them were good. But as I look around the city, I have to commend the council and especially the mayor.
Mr. Weinstein, I'm sorry, your address as well.
Oh, 20 Platt Avenue. I live with my wife. So I just wanted to give kudos to the mayor and all of you. The city looks great. Things are happening. It's clean, it's bright, it's vibrant. Riva, my wife and I had lunch there last week. It's just so many great things happening. The other comment I want to make before I talk about what I came up to speak about is if there is going to be a committee on Quigley Stadium, I'd be happy to be part of that. I've had conversations with several people in town about it, and I would love to see a revival of Quigley Stadium. So I'm a commissioner on the Economic Development Commission. I'm also on several boards and president of two. Over the years, I've worked with many boards and commissions and have learned that a successful committee requires more than just bylaws and appointments. It takes consistent leadership, structure, and someone who understands how to follow through. That's why I'm here to voice my full support for Steve Mullins for reappointment to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission. Steve has brought all those qualities to his role as chairman. He's made sure the Fair Rent Commission isn't just a name or a formality, it's a real resource for people in the city. By making applications accessible and producing a clear, helpful video to walk tenants through the process, he's taken the steps that reflect initiative and accountability. Those are the small but important actions that build trust in an entire government. I can say from what I've observed and from what I hear from many people in City Hall, the Commission's presence has helped reduce the pressure on other parts of city government that used to absorb many of those housing-related concerns. That alone speaks volumes about the Commission's effectiveness under Steve's leadership. He also brings a depth of experience that adds real credibility to the Commission. From decades in housing to his years on planning and zoning, his knowledge is extensive. But beyond the resume, he obviously gets things done. So I respectfully urge the City Council to reappoint Steve Mullins. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak before the City Council? For a second time, would anyone like to speak? Mr. Mullins.
Stephen Mullins, 22 Oak Road in Allentown. And I just want to speak about another commissioner of Fair Rent who is on the agenda tonight. Her name is Commissioner Effie Prokopis, and she, along with others, have been very, very instrumental in the goings-on of the commission, and it is not done alone. We'll talk about it a little later on. But I do fully support her being reappointed to the Fair Rent Commission tonight. She's on the agenda tonight, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Hopefully didn't want to put my foot in my mouth. All right. So I would urge you all to support her. She is our landlord representative on the Fair Rent Commission, and she's been very instrumental, along with our Vice Chairman Sanchez, who's behind me, with the ordinance that you'll be speaking about later on tonight. So please consider the reappointment of Effie Procopus for the position of Fair Rent Commissioner in the City of West Haven. Thank you.
Thank you.
Along with me, too.
Would anybody else like to speak before the city council? For the second time, would anyone like to speak before the city council? Mr. Sanchez.
All right. Christian Sanchez, 541 Island Lane, but also the vice chairman of the Fair Rent Commission, as he's put. I'm here to endorse also Steve Mullins and Effie Procopus for reappointment. They've worked very hard in the past year. When we built up the Fair Rent Commission from absolutely nothing, none of us knew what was going on. We actually collaborated with a lot of other Fair Rent Commissions that were established throughout New Haven County and throughout the state. Now there's a coalition of Fair Rent Commissions for representing every single city that has 25,000 residents that are tenants and more. And we've done a lot of hard work. I'm impressed with what they've been able to do in the past year now, and so far, no complaints. But it's still a building process, and I commend the chairman as well as Commissioner Procopus for their hard work and getting the ground paved for what we're doing tonight, as well as what we're going to be doing in the near future. But it's a really big process because it's an issue that has affected not only West Haven or Connecticut, but the whole country. So it's right here, all politics is local, it starts here, and I'm really happy that they've been able to tackle the issue pretty effectively. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak before the city council?
Good evening, Colleen O'Connor, 464 3rd Avenue. I couldn't remember the number. Good evening, friends. I'm just here to echo what the last three people just said. We've been together for about a year. I'm also a commissioner, and I think we're doing really good things, and I think we need another year or two together to really do some good things. Prices are crazy right now with rents, and there are no rental caps here in Connecticut, so we really need some of the renters, which there's a lot of renters in West Haven, really need help negotiating with the landlords. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak before the city council? For the second time, would anyone like to speak before the city council? And for the third and final time, would anyone like to speak before the city council? Public session is now closed at 7:32. I am going to do these separately, right? Yeah. I'm going to do the journal separately. I'm looking for a motion to approve the journal of June 23rd, 25. Motion. Do I have a second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And second, we have I'm looking for a motion to approve the journal date of April 8th through May 1st. Motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Chairman?
I'm sorry, I forgot discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any discussion? Sir.
Looking through this document, there are a few changes that need to be made. On page 11, and all it is numbers for the most part. The middle motion, it says in favor 10, opposed 3. But the number, as they went down, it should be in favor should be 9, opposed 3, according to what's on here. And right below that, it should be, it says in favor of 11, opposed 1. It should be, there was 2 noes and 10 in favor. So those should be changed as well. And on page 15, it says in favor 10, opposed 2. It should read in favor 9 and opposed 3. And that's all. Those are the 3 changes, or 4 changes.
Yeah, because she added them. Because in her tally here, it doesn't equal. He's correct. So, yeah, we need a motion to amend the agenda.
Can,
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes as amended.
as amended, do I have a second on that?
Second.
All right, any discussion on the amendment? Nope, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And when the clerk is ready, I will have her hand out the communications for this evening.
Okay, we have Communication A from the tax collector regarding overpayment refunds for July 2025, which will be filed with tonight's minutes. We have Communication B from Deputy Chief Carl Fleming regarding animal shelter donations being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbar Ali. Communication C from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding a request to approve a waiver of all permitting fees for the upcoming Special Olympics Connecticut Fall Festival Bocce Competition scheduled for September 13th and 14th, 2025, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbar Ali. Communication D from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding a request to approve the tentative agreement between the City of West Haven and the Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO Local 1103, for the term of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2028, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbar Ali. Communication E from Michael Gormany, Finance Director, regarding an amendment to the fiscal year 25-26 five-year capital budget, reducing police vehicles by $250,609, Department of Public Works vehicle purchase by $100,000, Department of Public Works equipment by $100,000, traffic control signals by $100,000, WPCA outfall by $300,000, plant hardening by $300,000, and creating a new project, Axon body cameras and dash cameras, with a budget of $1,150,609, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbar Ali. Communication F from Michael Gormany, Finance Director, regarding a request for the City Council approval allowing the Mayor or the Finance Director to join a Sourcewell cooperative purchasing agreement with Axon Enterprises for police body cameras and dash cameras, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbar Ali. Communication G from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding the reappointment of Stephen R. Mullins, 22 Oak Road, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission. Mr. Mullins' reappointment will be for a term of 2 years, effective immediately, and will expire on February 26, 2027, being assigned to the Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. Communication H from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding the reappointment of Effie Prokopis, 18 Wildwood Terrace, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission. Ms. Prokopis' reappointment will be for a term of 2 years, effective immediately, and will expire on March 25th, 2027, being assigned to the Personnel and Civil Service Committee, Acting Chairman Vargo. Communication I from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 97 of the Code of West Haven's Fair Rent Commission, being assigned to the Legislative Matters Committee, Chairman Vargo. Communication J from Abdul Qadir, City Engineer, regarding a bond ordinance for the planning, design, and construction of Dawson Avenue Pump Station and East Avenue Pump Station in the amount of $29,800,000, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbar Ali. And lastly, Communication K from Michael Gormany, Finance Director, regarding a transfer of funds from the Capital Non-Recurring Project Revaluation account number 3599900-55670-00200 in the amount of $143,300 for local design costs on a grant through the State of Connecticut Local Transportation Capital Improvement Program, LOCIP program, State Project L156-005, for sidewalk improvements to Benham Hill Road, Morgan Lane, and Shingle Hill Road, being assigned to the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbar Ali. And that concludes our communications for this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We will now recess your mic. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We will now recess into committee meetings at 7:40. First up, we have the Finance Committee, Chairwoman Akbarali.
Thank you, Chairman. The time is now 7:40, and your Committee on Finance is now in session. Members present are Councilman Vargo, Councilwoman Tucker, Councilman Johnstone, and myself, Councilwoman Akbarali, acting as chair. Our first up, we have our finance updates from Mr. Gormany.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I know we have a full agenda, so I will keep this brief on the finance updates. I did email to the council, and I do apologize that it was Saturday. We were running some reports, and I do have some paper copies if anybody wants them or didn't get a chance to look at it. But the monthly financial report, and I'll just pass it down. So, just to kind of give an update, from the city general fund, we're still looking at a surplus within the fund, ending the fiscal year, as well as Allentown Fire Department and the WPCA. So, remember, the report that you have is as a snapshot in time. We are still closing the fiscal year. You know, as I mentioned before briefly, you know, we spend July and August really collecting invoices and looking at purchase orders and things like that, because obviously services happen in May and June, and we have to make sure we account for everything correctly. So again, this is as of when we ran the report last week. You know, we still had some open purchase orders and things like that that can increase the surplus. We're still working with department heads on expenses and everything, but right now within all three funds, we are projecting a surplus. In general fund, as of when we ran this report, it was about 1.3 million in general fund. In the Allentown Fire Department, it was approximately 143,000, and in the sewer fund, it was about 400,000. So again, we're still working on closing out the fiscal year. You know, we're not expecting any really large expenses. We think department heads have done a good job in getting us paperwork and invoices so we can account for all these figures. But again, we're still doing that. It does take time to close the city books. So, but right now we feel confident that, you know, all three major funds will have a surplus for fiscal year 2024 and 2025. Again, subject to change in case, you know, something comes up that we didn't know about. But I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Gormany? Thank you so much, Mr. Gormany. I really appreciate your update. Okay, up next we have Communication B from Deputy Chief Carl Fleming regarding the animal shelter donations. I would like to open this up for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right.
That would be a second by Councilman Johnstone.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions on the committee? Anyone on the council? Seeing there's no more questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, next is Communication C from Mayor Durandabor regarding a request to approve a waiver of all permitting fees for the upcoming Special Olympics Connecticut Fall Festival Bocce competition scheduled for September 13th and 14th. I'd like to open this up for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Thank you.
That was a second by Johnstone.
Thank you.
Keep his mic off.
Mayor Board, did you want to say anything? Thank you.
Sure. We're very honored to have the Special Olympics coming back to West Haven for their bocce tournament. It's Special Olympics Connecticut. As you know, West Haven was host to the World Games back in the early 90s. And through that participation, the Special Olympics World Games actually purchased our bocce courts. So those bocce courts came from the original World Games. And they came last year, Connecticut Special Olympics, and they were really so impressed with all the volunteer work that we had, the city's partnership, and the athletes really wanted to come back. So we're grateful to have them, and I think it's only fitting that we waive the fees for these athletes that want to showcase their skills and their talents for everybody and work really hard. Thanks.
I agree. Thank you very much, Mayor Boer. Does anyone on the committee have any questions? Anyone on the council? Okay, seeing there are none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Communication D from Mayor Duran DeBoer regarding a request to approve a tentative agreement between the City of West Haven and the Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO, Local 1103, for the term of July 1, 2024 to June 30th, 2028. I'd like to open this up for discussion.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
Mayor Boer?
Sure. We're going to, so we have a bit of a team here in case you have various questions. But on the city side, our negotiating team was Michael Gormany, our finance director, Paul Dorsey, our corporation counsel, Chris Hodgson, who helped with the negotiations. And I just want to echo what Diane Dietman said earlier, that it was a very, don't get me wrong, we went back and forth a number of times. Didn't walk away from the table, stayed and continued to negotiate. But the supervisors are a group that went without an increase for many, many years. And we talk about a lot of other unions within the city, but the supervisors, they don't get a lot of attention, but really they're the ones that lead the charge, right? I have a department head meeting, a cabinet meeting, and this is the group that supervises all of the activity in the city, whether it's the health department or the elderly services or the youth services or our tax collector or our tax assessor. In the clerk's office, we have in public works, those are the supervisors of parks, supervisors of highways. So we have a variety of talent. They work really hard. I think this is very fair enough for the city. We had budgeted the contingency because this is a retro payment. And Chris is on our team because Chris has been part of negotiating union contracts and collective bargaining for the city for probably 15 years and knows the history. But also, Chris is a resource because he provides the average of what other municipalities are doing, and we have been far below what other municipalities have been doing. So whenever we're having conversations about insurance premiums or salary increases or time off, what Chris does is he brings to the table, what are other municipalities doing? And that's really important because we don't want to lose our talent. So I'm just going to punt it over to Michael and see if you have any financial questions.
Thank you, Mayor Boer. As the mayor said, it was a collaborative effort, and I think you heard that expressed from the mayor and from the union. Again, we went back and forth. I know Paul and Chris worked very hard on this as well. Again, this just to kind of give you some of the highlights. The tentative agreement was submitted as part of the package. That was really the focal point of what was agreed upon between the city and the union. Again, this is a 4-year agreement. This agreement was had originally expired in June 30th of 2024. So this is a 4-year agreement that goes until from July 1st of 2024 to June 30th of 2028. As the mayor mentioned, we really looked at general wage increases and things like that and coming to the average and really looking at what other cities and towns were doing with their supervisors union, and felt that the wage increases that were listed in the tentative agreement, which in 2024-2025 was 2.75%, and then And then in 2024-2025, if you are at top step, you got an additional dollar there. But in 2025-2026, 2.75%. In 2026-2027, 3%. And 2027-2028, 2.75%. That's very close to what the average is in what other cities and towns were doing. And it starts to bring, as the mayor mentioned, our wages up to competitive steps as well. So that was a plus in looking at the general wage increases and coming to a fair agreement with the union itself. As the mayor mentioned, we do have contingency. Obviously, the 2024-2025 year is retroactive. They were paid on current wages. We did budget that in contingency, and as part of the 2025-2026 budget, we also budgeted contingency in anticipation of coming close to this number here from a general wage increase standpoint. The other things in the agreement were really health insurance, such as employee cost share, which is very competitive, which was mentioned in the tentative agreement as well. And the only other real fiscal impact was we did, in trading and negotiating, the supervisors union got an additional personal day. So they went from 2 personal days to 3 personal days. Effective this fiscal year. So that's not retroactive. That's actually effective because of the timing of the ratification and bringing it to city council. That's effective beginning this fiscal year. So that's really the highlights of the tentative agreement. Again, a couple of smaller changes here or there. But again, as with most union contracts, there's really a focus on healthcare, and general wage increases, which is what this contract focused in on. So, be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions on the committee? Councilman Vargo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Michael, I just want to commend everybody who worked on this. I know that these negotiations are not easy, and they are personal. So, especially for the receiving end. So, just congratulations and thank you to everybody who worked hard. Just looking at what the cost of living increases have been for the last few years, I think that this is closer to being to where they need to be, but still well within what the city can shoulder. So, just well done. I just want to make sure that for the retro pay, we have enough available, that you're comfortable with whatever that number is. Whether or not you tell me or not, it's fine.
Yeah, so we calculated about 275,000. That's an estimate because we literally, when we calculate retro, have to go. People's pay change mid-year, things like that. So we have to go check week by week and check by check to look at retro. So that's our estimate. But for fiscal year 25, we had budgeted $960,000 in contingency. So if you remember, the council approved a transfer of 300, a little bit over 300,000, which left a little bit over 600,000 in contingency. So there's more than enough to cover the
So we have a healthy fund balance.
Yep.
We can cover that. And then just for the FY 25-26 budget that we just passed and just entered, these figures are within those.
These figures came very close, almost spot on to what we budgeted as far as when we were breaking out the contingency budget for 25-26. So
Excellent.
We have no budgetary issue there.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're very welcome. Anyone else on the committee have any questions? I'm going to open it up to the entire council. Councilman Donovan?
Thank you. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Only question I got, not that I have an issue, but just so I understand it more, it says remove holiday floater in lieu of Lincoln's birthday. So you're removing which holiday and you're giving them a floater, correct?
So in the previous contract, there was something called a floater day.
Right.
That's basically a day you can use whenever you want, essentially. It's a net neutral cost because they were, and Paul and Chris can correct me, but that's really being exchanged for Lincoln's birthday. So it's really just one for the other.
So it's the opposite of what I'm thinking.
Right.
So instead of you're getting rid of the floater and making it Lincoln's birthday?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, getting rid of the floater and giving a personal day.
Okay.
Did you want to explain that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't want to interrupt the flow.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Hodgson, and thanks. It's nice to see everyone. There was no increase in time off. That we got rid of the floater and exchanged it for a personal day.
Okay.
It was the same amount of days off.
Yep. Didn't know, because the way I was reading, I was like, all right, which holiday did you remove? But I got you now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're very
All set.
welcome. Any other questions? Mayor Bork?
I just want to add one other thing. I want to thank Michael for crunching all the numbers. And good questions, Councilman Vargo, on the contingency. And as you recall, when we were doing the budget, it's always a little gray when we talk about what we have in contingency because we can't, you know, as management side of the table, we can't talk about what we're putting in contingency because that tips our hand as to what we're thinking about that we're going to settle on. So as far as the budget for going forward and the retro pay, that's why, just a reminder, when we're doing our budget conversations, and we're always like a little dancing around a little bit when you're asking us those questions, that's why. So, and thank you. And remember, Lincoln's birth, it was changed to President's Day. That's why it ended up being a Floaters Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Boer. Any other questions? Seeing there are no more questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, up next we have Communication E from Michael Gormany, Finance Director, regarding an amendment to the FY25-26 5-year capital budget, reducing police vehicles by $250,609, DPW vehicles purchase by $100,000, DPW equipment by $100,000, traffic control signals by $100,000, WPCA outfall by $300,000, plant hardening by $300,000, and creating a new project, Axon body cameras and dash cameras, with a budget of $1,150,609. I'd like to open this up for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All right, so Mr. Gorman, or actually, Mayor Boer, did you want to say something first regarding this, or do you want me to have? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, happy to, because we just did a very, we just did a press conference on our investment in public safety, and we know how important that is because it's really the foundation of a community, right? Making sure people feel safe. And there's a lot of technological investments that we're making that we made through the budget. So, thank you for all of that. We rely on our police to come forward and tell us what tools they need to do their job. At the press conference, just a little off track, but for those of you who may have missed it, we talked about the citywide cameras, right? And that is a conversation we all had in the past. We have 200 cameras up finally now with 500 views across the city. We purchased the lock cops. That's what Kathy Hebert talked about. So, it's not just about catching somebody, it's helping to prevent something from happening in the first place. And yes, there are major crimes, but there's also illegal dumping, which is a crime. So the lock cops was an investment, more call boxes around the city, so that there's emergency connection, more investment in our MDTs, in our dashboard cams. We put in a new communication system in the police department because the calls actually literally dropped. And, the mobile unit, the mobile command unit. And now a big part of this is body cameras. So if you think about it, it was only, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago that a lot of forces didn't have body cameras, right? And it became law. And it did for a reason, because body cameras, it's all about building public trust and transparency and helping with criminal investigations. If you think about it, in the past, criminal investigations were based on cell phone, somebody taking a cell phone video, maybe didn't show the whole scenario, didn't show, what happened occurred. And the moment there's an interaction, those cameras go on. And I often say it's the witness that doesn't lie. So it's right there, and it's used in court very often. And West Haven uses it very wisely. But it's time to take it to the next level. So now that body cameras, the technology has advanced, we want West Haven to be a leader in this area. We don't want to be the follower. And there's only one of, I think, and the chief will probably speak a little bit more to this, maybe less than 5 cities in the state that have this, but very soon they all will. So we don't want to wait and be behind the curveball, because we have to make strategic investments in our public safety. So these body cameras, you'll hear more from the chief and his team, and Michael Michael could talk about the finances and how we're comfortable moving these funds around. But these body cameras, we're a very diverse population, and it will translate to 50 languages. So you press the button, and if you're talking to a police officer and it's a language that police officer doesn't know, it automatically translates it, but it also automatically translates what the police officer is saying back to the resident or the person involved. And that is amazing. I think that's amazing. And then it's also going to help with report writing, and it's also going to be connected to our other cameras in the car. So I just think it's really state of the art. Our city deserves state of the art. So I'm very supportive of this, and I'm very happy that our police department comes to us with these projects. So I'll turn it over to you, Michael, if you want to talk about how we're moving money around to make this happen.
I'm sorry.
Can I ask a question first do you mind?
Yeah, do you want him to discuss the finances first and then go into it, or?
You can. I was going to follow up on.
Yeah, if you want to follow up on what the mayor said, absolutely.
Yeah, just wanted to know, because we had gotten into discussion before about the ability to record and how long these things record. So I know that there, were challenges with that because of the amount of data that it took to hold on. So can you talk to that a little bit?
I'm going to let our Axion expert and Craig Thompson talk a little bit about that because they're the IT folks. But yes, storage is always a problem, right? Yeah. How much you could store and the cost to store. Right. So that has been a challenge, not just for West Haven, across the state. There is funding that comes from the state, but it's just not enough. So I think this is going to help with this. And when they come up, they'll talk a little bit more about how this is going to help us to be able to store the data. Good question.
To kind of go in order, Mr. Gormley, do you mind if I have the chief and his team come up first to discuss that, and then we'll go into the finances?
Sure.
Because they'll probably have a lot of questions.
Oh, I'm here for the night.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Welcome, Chief Perno.
Good evening, everyone. Joe Perno, 200 Sawmill Road. My Sergeant Craig Thompson, and this is my Axon, or our Axon representative, Joe.
Quiet tickets.
Quiet.
Thank you for having me.
When we got word that our contract was getting come to a close, we didn't want to change our product, so we kind of reached out to them and said, hey, listen, what's on the horizon? And then they hit us with all of these translations, report writing, all of the advancements that they have had at Axon. And so, well, we got to have a meeting with you because we want to get on the same page and see what we need and what we don't need. And we did a little a la carte, I would say. There's a lot of things that they offer, and to be quite honest with you, we would love to have them. They're just not cost effective for this budget that we have to work in. Then also, this package that you see in front of you, it also touches with our tasers. And our tasers, when we first got them, we used them basically as doorstops and paperweights because they're not any good to the company. They're not any good to us. They're really close to their life expectancy. And we sent one of my other sergeants, who was a use of force expert, to Axon and the taser product, and he came back and he said it's out of this world. It's like watching Star Trek. So we kind of like bundled that into the body cameras and dash cameras. So we cut out what we didn't need. We kind of enhanced a little bit what we wanted and absolutely need, and it's become like a necessary luxury. The thing that is the best part about it, and they just talk about it's in the clouds. Yeah, okay, it's in the clouds. That's nice. The storage, it's unlimited. It's unlimited storage, and that's a big thing because we pay for storage for everything now, and it takes a big chunk out of our budget. And I think I spoke a little bit too much, so I let my Axon gentleman and my sergeant answer any questions you have to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Kwiatek. I'm the Axon account manager for West Haven. I've been with the company for 4.5 years, working primarily in Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey. I appreciate the opportunity tonight. Mary, you stole many of my talking points, but you said it quite well. You know, in 2021, 22, the state released the mandate for body-worn cameras. And with that, for the last 4 or 5 years or so, obviously it comes with a lot of administrative task and burden and a lot of work behind the scenes for officers and departments. And so as we've continued to develop new products and technologies, what we're trying to do is limit that time that an officer is spending typing a report or in front of their computer or managing digital evidence, and give that officer more time back in the community, and then also give them the training tools to interact with members of the community. So you'll see things in the proposal that will speed up report writing times. The mayor mentioned a live translator. So if you're approaching somebody on the street that you don't speak their language, you can instantly understand what language and be able to communicate and understand right in that moment what's happening. From an investigative standpoint, there's tools in there where if there's an incident at, making it up, 123 Main Street, well, in the past you'd have to walk door to door, try to say, hey, did you see anything? Do you have any evidence? Here you can simply on a map draw a circle or a specific section of the area where you think that that person or that incident may have happened, and be able to pull digital or request digital evidence from the community. There's public portals that will the agency can put out and say, hey, if you saw something, please submit your digital evidence through this portal. And then, as she mentioned, the TASER product continues to develop. And I'll share and end with this one story. The agency has what's called TASER 7. The latest device is called TASER 10. In April of 2024, I'd like to use a local example. It's Naugatuck had a shooting. And the officer in that situation, it was a person with a knife in a park, and there was a distance factor and a limitation to the number of opportunities that TASER was effective, because essentially there's 2 cartridges. In that instance in Naugatuck, the officer was unsuccessful with the 2 opportunities that they had with their device because of distance and other factors, and immediately had to go to their firearm. And that person was able to survive the incident, but the TASER 10 was developed for that purpose. It's to give the officers more time and space and distance with several opportunities for an effective deployment without having to resort to their firearm. So hopefully that gives you a nice summary, but happy to answer any additional questions.
Thank you very much.
If you got any real questions about our technology, that's the guy right there.
Yeah, so I was going to ask about the storage. Is that what you're?
Go ahead, keep going.
So when we're talking size, how much storage are we talking about here?
A significant amount. We carry on average a rolling like 50 terabytes of data on a day-to-day basis. Through the back end of all of this setup, Matt and I, we have what's called retention times.
Right.
Based on the case to be, if it's a breach of peace, we have to keep it for a year. If it's an arrest, we have to keep it for 10.
Oh, wow.
If it's a sex crime, homicide, it's forever. So we have to take all of those crimes into consideration when they go to court. So that rolling average could increase and has increased since we started.
Right.
And again, with more data that we have with all the beach cameras, all that will be incorporated into this. So that will only go up.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Councilman Tucker?
Yeah. Thank you for that. The question I have is about security, cybersecurity. So you're storing this information, it's in the cloud. What measures do you have in place? Is that included in this, the cybersecurity factor? Because I can imagine now with the way AI is and people being able to hack into things that you would need to be significantly protected from that. So just I'm curious about like what your plan is for that.
We have twofold. I'll answer for internally. We have multi-level cybersecurity actions in play, and then it's added to what Axon offers. Which
Yeah, I mean, there's several of them. Many of them are probably over my head, to be honest with you. I will just comment and knock on wood. The company has been around in this space since 2009, in the body camera space. And again, knock on wood, hasn't been an incident to date, but several of them. And there's a dedicated website that we could direct you to that shows all the different measures and certifications that Axon as a company has for specifically that question.
one of the things is that it's removed, if that makes any sense. I'm simplifying this, but we don't store these things locally. So there's not in the police department. If you were to hack it, there's nothing there. They would have to hack the police department, then hack the cloud, and then hack Axon. So there's definitely layers of security that are in play to compensate for all that, because this is literally the evidence that the court is relying on.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, it's, as I work in the same office as Sergeant Gatto, who's our body cam guy, and there isn't an arrest that's made 2 days after that request for all the video, any pictures, anything related to that case gets sent over to court, and they honestly put more weight into the body cam than they do the report. So it's pretty critical to have that security. Yes, and if anybody knows Matt Masick, that's one of his things. Officer Masick is cybersecurity is his bread and butter, and that's what he loves. And he was good with this.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions? There's a lot of punch lists on here. I'll speak to one that's near and dear to my heart, is the respond. As a supervisor and someone who worked on the street for 12 years, the respond aspect of this, we have it currently in our Axon dash cams. We're pushing to get it for our body cams if it gets approved tonight. Our body cams. It allows supervisors who are in-house and unable to be on scene to live stream. If that camera is activated by any officer out in the field, I can tap into that and watch live feed. There's like a 5 to 7 second delay roughly. And I've done it on multiple occasions. Up until a month ago, I was part of the SRT team. We've had hostage situations. We've had barricaded gunman situations where patrol arrived, parked their cars, and then had to retreat. And I was able to tap into both those cars, pull them up at the police department, and derive a plan based on live views of what we're seeing without putting officers in harm's way. Same principle as like the Bearcat. It's another layer, another tool, we're able to get there safely and make decisions. Same as our drones. That's part of this. So yeah, there's tons of, like I said, there's 22 items on here that, some are just like the chief said, are a la carte, and it's like buying a car. You get leather, you get a nice stereo package. So that's some of these items on here, but every one of these is, like you said, a necessary luxury for us here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to open it up to the whole council because we have a lot of questions. Councilwoman Heffernan and then Councilman Vargo.
Hi, good evening. It's kind of a odd question, but we have a lot of K-9 units and they get deployed and they're away from their officers if they're chasing suspects, or do they have cameras too to protect them and say, that or to show if the people are aggressive toward the animal or that they're harming the animal?
Currently, there are no canine body cams.
I was going to say, because I know that they have vests. They do have
bulletproof vests. They do. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Well, are they not away from their handlers when they're, and haven't they been blamed for chasing people into highways and killing them? I mean, I don't know. I think maybe they need them. They need to be protected too. Thank you.
I've learned to say, not say no, but to say not yet.
Not yet.
Or
Okay.
possibly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could you elaborate on the public portal piece of this program, and how does the public receive the request? Is it something that the public needs to sign up for and agree to? Has all that work?
Yeah, there's a couple different flavors to it. So one example is if there's an incident and you want to collect as much digital evidence from the community as possible, you go into our system and it'll create a unique URL that the agency can put on social media or up to the media, put on websites, whatever. And then that person who has digital evidence can click on it and it'll go right directly into the digital evidence management system. There's another way, or two other ways I should say. One is if it's an individual, you saw something, I'm interacting with you, and I would just want to get the digital evidence from you because you were the only one there, I can send a secure link to just you via email or text message so that one-to-one you can send that information back to us. The third component is with our FUSA system, a member of the community can register their camera and say if there's an incident, then the agency can, like I mentioned earlier, draw a circle around a location. And if you've registered your camera, you would be on a list where you can get an email similar to that portal. It says, hey, something may have happened. you've registered your camera. If you'd like to send digital evidence, please do.
So basically, yes to all of my questions.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The lifespan of the camera.
So, yeah, built into the contract, we have a long history with body cameras. We understand that through wear and tear and battery degradation, every 2.5 years is roughly when we start to see more frequent replacements. So we build in a schedule that every 2.5 years, the agency will get all new body cameras. So you'll get essentially 3 sets of cameras over 5 years.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Donovan?
Correct. Yeah, we just re-upped a little over a year ago. Got our newest body 4 cams, which it has all the capabilities
Right.
to do all of these things that we're pushing for now. And we went that way for that reason, is to try and push these. But yes, they do. And through Axon, these get damaged weekly.
Yeah.
Just through fights, rushing,
Of course.
canines running through woods, things like that.
Yeah.
We're not down less, maybe a week at best.
Mm.
But we have spares that we in and out, in and out. They're fantastic with all cameras.
Absolutely.
Body dash, so.
Very good. Councilman Donovan?
Thank you, Chairwoman. First off, Chief, I'm not going to ask you to explain to me about the cloud. Me and you are on the same campaign, so I would never do that to you. Secondly, with the translation, is that real time? Is that right then and there? So the officers have to wear an earpiece, or it actually, how does that translate?
Yeah, so you don't need to wear an earpiece. So essentially, if I approach you and if I understand that you're speaking Spanish and I know it's Spanish, but I don't speak Spanish, I can say translate to Spanish and through the body camera. The intent is that you're not heads down in another device, but you're rather recording and head up talking to the person. So if I recognize that you speak Spanish, you can say translate to Spanish, and it'll begin when I speak English. The camera has a microphone that'll translate to Spanish, and when you speak Spanish into the camera, it'll translate it through the microphone or the speakers on the camera into Spanish. If I don't know what language you're speaking, you can press a button and it'll basically, if you speak first, it'll detect what language. It'll say Spanish detected, and then begin that back and forth.
Okay, that's what I was asking about. All right, thank you very much.
Councilman McMillan?
So then my question would be, it would be then, if I were an officer, it's incumbent that I actually switch on the camera to have conversation?
So the camera would need to be powered on. And once that, if you're not actively recording, so there's a difference between, once you're powered on, you can press a button to begin the recording.
Okay.
But if you're not actively recording and you begin the translation, it will automatically start recording so that the whole translation is recorded.
Chairman? Or, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a question. Okay. Councilman Johnstone?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Just to kind of emphasize the importance of the translation. Lord knows the amount of ride-alongs I've been on, Chief, and I joke about it all the time. I could probably apply to the Academy now, but when there is a situation with a language barrier, what tends to happen, and Chief, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, a little off, they always try, the police department always tries to have at least one bilingual officer on patrol. And what happens is, if there is a situation and the officers that respond to that situation are not bilingual, they have to get the bilingual speaking officer from patrolling the other district or who possibly could be on another call. So what happens is you end up throwing off, I've had people say, or other council members ask me, well, I thought this district was this car and that car was in this district. Depending on the situation and how busy shifts are, particularly the second and third shifts, it can cause quite the ruckus. And the sergeant at home base, as Sergeant Thompson would know, they have to make a very tough decision based on the priority of calls that are coming in on where to send these officers. So not only is it going to help the officers who are right there, so technically you're going to make every officer technically bilingual, but you're going to make the calls more efficient and thorough, and the cops will be able to answer more calls diligently per shift. Is that accurate, Chief?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Madam Chair.
If I could add to that, it's not only that, if there is no bilingual, if there's the dialect that we don't have anybody, there's a language line that we have to call. A language line we have to call into dispatch. Dispatch patches us through, and there's that takes, to your point, time, right? And so sometimes depending on if it's a crime, if it's busy, time is not.
It's not as reliable as it sounds either. We've gone to the length of calling Yale Hospital, the University of New Haven, other towns, surrounding towns on the hotline. Did you have anyone that speaks this language? And then they have to wait. So this is a breakthrough. That's why the tasers and this, it's like night and day.
Chairman Pascal.
Thank you, Chairwoman.
You're welcome.
Gentlemen, thank you for being here. My first question is, how many communities do you think use your product roughly?
Yeah, so I can speak to the agencies that I work with. I work with agencies, excuse me, with 100 officers up to 550. And I can talk about the state of Connecticut. State of Connecticut that I work with in that range, there are 17 agencies. 17 have Axon body-worn cameras, and 17 have the dash cameras as well.
Okay, seems to be a sizable amount. I'm very interested in the translation portion of this because it seems to me that with our diverse community getting ever more diverse, that this is going to be so helpful. And I was wondering, how did the rank and file feel about this once it was introduced?
They're very welcoming. A lot of them are skeptical, but once they see the product and work, I think that they'll come around. It's like anything else. Some cops don't like change, but this is good change.
I have to imagine this is AI based. Is that how it? Okay. And I have another business idea for you, actually, because I also see it. I see a need. Well, listen. I think this is a great idea. I see a need for this in early education as well, because my wife was recently a teacher, and between in our own community, between Urdu and Pashto and Spanish and everything, that product would be fantastic in an urban setting where you have a teacher that only has a certain language that could now potentially use 4 or 5. Just saying. Yes, yeah, but I mean something that's like readily there that can interact is fantastic. So I thank you for bringing this to us. Thank you, Chairman.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, very much. Oh, Chief Perno, first.
I would like to thank Michael. He is a wizard. You go to him, and like I told him out the hallway, as he had a full head of hair before he started going to us.
Then he started working here.
And the mayor has been a pleasure to work with, especially when we come with these, I call them all these harebrained ideas that we have. She hasn't really kicked us out of the office yet. So I just want to thank you guys. Thank you very much. And you, council also.
Thank you very much, Chief Perno. I really appreciate it. Councilwoman Callahan, did you have a question?
First, thank you very much. This is incredible and an awesome project, and looking forward to it. But I have to ask, and I know that we're looking at all these numbers. I'm sure that, Chief, you've gone through these numbers with these different departments and are comfortable moving them.
The other departments, they can. Yeah, I got no problem.
We're gonna have
taking
Mr.
money
Gorman
from them
come
at
up
all.
for those.
I got to be the bad egg and ask the question.
No, it's okay.
I got to ask the money part.
We have talked about our vehicles, and we're going to jockey some things around and move some things. But yeah, that for us, that's good. The other departments, I can't speak for them. Too bad.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
But yeah, through with Michael, he has done all of that, and he's going to bail me out on this one. So.
Thank you, Mr. Gormany.
Yeah. So on the financial aspect of this, we are coming to the city council for a couple of reasons with this project. As you heard, there are a lot of great things happening with this, and a lot of great innovations and technology, AI-based matters happening with this. This came after we did the capital budget, so that's why we had to bring it before the city council, number one, as it says in the resolution, to create this new capital project.
Number two, we are moving money from different projects. My assistant director, Mr. Taylor, talked to the department heads related to this project, Chief Colonel Phil Sissick, who, the other components of this are Public Works and WPCA. We talked to Mr. Sissick, and he is comfortable in deferring some of this cost to, we have the 5-year plan. So obviously the 5-year plan is the first year of what the city council approves, and then the other 4 years are our plan. Those plans always change, so we'll obviously incorporate some of these changes into the plan moving forward. But Mr. Sissick was comfortable with these changes that were listed on the memo and on the budget transfer form. And the third reason this had to come before the city council, the city charter says we can enter into 3-year contract with vendors that go out to RFP, or when we have a cooperative agreement such as this. This is based off of the Sourcewell, which the city is a member of. We piggyback off their contracts, but the pricing that was in the memo is based on a 5-year agreement. So again, that's the other reason we need city council approval, is because this is a 5-year agreement.
Okay, and then also, just to follow up with that, so if the cameras the life is about 2.5 years, we'll be able to still fund that going forward.
Yep, so there is a schedule within the memo that the first year is 1.6 million, a little bit over 1.6 million, which is the capitalization of the body cameras, the first year maintenance support, all that other stuff. The other 4 years are incorporated as we move forward in the general fund budget process in future years. So the good thing is we have a fixed number here. We know what the numbers are going to be, and we incorporate that as we move forward in future budget cycles.
Great, that answered the question. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman,
I'm sorry.
No,
So
that's okay.
just one more thing. So the total project is 1.6. We're moving 1.1 million from the capital projects, and then as listed on the memo, there's another 500,000 in special duty. So our special duty account is when you see the officers out there, conducting traffic, or, it's a requirement from a public safety standpoint that when companies do certain projects, they require officers. We charge those companies for time, administrative fee, things like that. We have a fund that can really be only used for the police department. It can't be used for anything else. So we have enough funding in that fund to supplement the additional $500,000 needed for this project. So
Thank you.
all
I
set.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Councilman Tucker?
Yeah, that was going to be a follow-up question. I had to make sure that it would be coming out of their funds, but phased in, will they be buying like certain numbers of body cameras and over time, instead of just like one big bang the next time, or has that been thought that far through? Or, or is it going to be something we're going to have to rethink about in our next
So up front, there's it's 126 with 10 additional spares that are shipped out to us from day one, and at 2.5 years, that same exact number is replaced. Same thing goes for everything in the cars.
So 126 all at one time.
Yep. And then every time we re-up, we swap out. We have a cutover date. This past one we did it 7 o'clock in the morning. Everybody came in off the road. All the new body cams were on the shelves. They take theirs and they put their old ones in a box, and we ship them back.
Okay. Thank you.
So, yep, but it's always on a consistent schedule.
So even the ones that were not used, that are just being held, do those get replaced as well with that
Yes.
whole? Okay.
Yep, because just from sitting on a charger, everybody knows you plug your phone in or you leave
Right.
something on a charger, it dwindles the battery.
Okay.
Battery life.
Makes sense.
By the end of it, we're getting like 82 to 85% of a full battery.
Right.
By the 2.5 years, so even if it's not used, it's actually better off if they use it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Councilman Vargo.
Wait, I have one more question.
Oh, sorry.
Just
You
one
still
more
have the floor.
question. and that's about the commitment. So the funds that we're drawing down, and I guess this is for Mike. Those people were expecting to get these funds or whatever. So when we come back around in this next, year or whatever have you, they're not, expecting that the funds be sitting there. We're gonna have to reevaluate, right? The same way we did every year.
Correct. Every year we reevaluate the budget cycle, and again, as I said in my first budget cycle coming here, and thanks to the mayor, we look at doing things that we can afford within the city.
Right.
So again, in talking to Mr. Sissick, he was comfortable, and we know at some point we'll have to incorporate these numbers into the capital plan, the 1.1, but it's about doing it in a way that we can afford to in West Haven and looking at these projects, because some of these projects were not just going to be done in a year. It was over a multiple span, which is why he was comfortable in, reducing 200,000 from WPCA, because it still left 90% of what the original budget was.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Varga.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions on the purchase total for the number of units. You said 126 plus 10 for reserves. Is that based on current staffing levels, or is there a cushion built into that?
So it's based on current staffing level of 122 sworn officers plus animal control. And then the 10 spares are, should we end up increasing that? Currently it's contractual, it's 122 plus the animal control. And then if we get more, that'd be great. I'll take them. And we'd have 10 more spares. We can fight with Joe and get a couple more, I'm sure.
Buy two, get one for yours.
Exactly. Yep. Chief
Okay.
does a good job bargaining.
Thanks. And just on the money piece, thank you for explaining, where all the funding is coming from. How does I see that in year 2 through 5, we're committing to a budget of 831.5, just for lack of for round numbers. How does that compare to what we're spending now?
So it is an increase. Right now it's about rounding 300,000 is what we spend now. But again, I think the chiefs and the rep from Axon, they did a good job of explaining when you have these type of technology upgrades, it's going to cost a little bit more. But right now it's about 300,000 is what we spent annually on the current product that we have.
Okay. And then I think, Madam Chair, if it's okay, my last question is for the mayor. Moving the money around, I'm good with. My only concern is the WPCA, because I know how important those two projects are.
Glad you asked.
I knew you would.
Councilman Varga. Yes, so the WPCA outfall and the plant hardening. So as you may recall, the plant hardening, that's our portion of that is 3.7 million. And FEMA's portion is 9 million. And we know there's a lot of challenges with FEMA going on right now. We were awarded the project, but it's certainly not going to happen overnight now. So I'm comfortable pushing that off a year because we don't have the funding from FEMA right now anyway. And if we have 3.7 we allocated, we're shaving off 300,000. I'm comfortable with. It's not going to stop the project because the project hasn't started yet. And then the WPCA outfall pipe, our portion of that is $1.2 million. If we ever get the federal government or the state to agree to help fund that very, very costly project. So neither one of those are happening in 2026-27. So I'm okay with moving them. I wouldn't move them if those projects were underway and getting ready to get started. Those are critical projects, but they're not happening this year. So we're moving it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? Did you have anything else for us, Mr. Gormany?
No, I'm all set.
All right. Thank you so much. Since there's no more questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right, we have Communication F from Michael Gormany, Finance Director, regarding a request for the City Council approval allowing the mayor or finance director to join the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement with Axon Enterprises for the police body cameras and dash cameras. I would like to open this up for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Mayor Bohr, did you want to?
I think we said it all.
I think so too. I think we're good. Mr. Gorman, did you want to add anything?
No, this is just the agreement for the presentation
That's
that
what
you
I
heard.
figured. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Does anyone have any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Communication J from Abdul Gatir, City Engineer, regarding a bond ordinance for the planning, design, and construction of Dawson Avenue Pump Station and East Avenue Pump Station in the amount of $29,800. I would like to open this up. Oh, I'm sorry, $29,800. I apologize. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to open this up for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Does anyone on the committee have any questions? Councilman Vargo.
Thank you. I don't know who this question's for, but I'm just reading the summary that we were given today. I'm just confused. The 29.8 million is the cost associated with the planning, design, and construction of the pump, but then it talks about a loan later on. I'm just confused with how the two work together.
So, a lot of these projects from our city engineering department are in conjunction with the state of Connecticut. The state of Connecticut has a program called the Clean Water Fund, which is a grant and a loan-based program. So, depending on the project, they do a mixture of a grant that they'll give you, which is exactly what it says, a grant. And then there's a percentage that's a loan that is paid back by the city. It's generally a lower interest rate than what you would get with bonding and other things. And the state ties other things to that loan. So when we do our debt service as part of our annual budget, we actually include all the projects for Clean Water Fund and things. That's all mixed within our debt service number. So, this is a way to keep the cost down for the city, even though a percentage of it is borrowing basically state money.
Okay, so we are requesting to bond 29.8 million for the planning, design, and construction.
We're requesting to apply to the state for the Clean Water Fund for 29.8 million. And then if that project is approved, it will be deciphered between what part of that is the loan portion and what part of that is the grant portion, essentially.
So what's the 80% that's in the summary? Yeah, I'm sorry. We just received this evening, so I'm trying to catch up with it.
Okay. So, are you talking about the city will be applying for a Clean Water Fund to recoup the 20% grant? Is that the line you're talking about?
No, it's the ordinance provides an 80% loan with 2% interest over 20 years.
So the 80% loan then, so this project again, sometimes I get these after, but it's part of the Clean Water Fund, so 80% of the project must be a loan type of piece. So it's like the state is bonding over a 20 or 30-year period, And again, the advantage to using the Clean Water Fund is the percentage and the payments are generally lower than if the city were actually to bond the fund itself. So they must have given Abdul the percentages already. So it sounds like 80% is a loan and 20% is a grant.
80% of, I'm sorry, for some reason I'm not understanding how the 29.8 aligns with the loan. Because to me, a bond is, right.
It's a loan.
Right. So are we talking the same thing?
So yes, we're basically talking the same thing. The difference
the way this reads is two different things.
Okay,
That's
the way that we're talking is that we're essentially getting the money from the state. So the state is bonding and they're giving us the money essentially. They have this program that they put as part of their bond package. And generally they get a lower interest rate because it's not just the city of West Haven that uses the Clean Water Fund. I mean, New Haven, other surrounding towns use this.
So my confusion in reading the way that this is I thought from the way this reads is we're going to bond 29.8 million and then getting a loan
right
of 80% at 2%. So it's like
so
it's
when you
double borrowing. So
when you look at the first page, I think that, or the summary page, it's 20% is the grant, and when he writes that, the city will be applying for Clean Water Fund from DEEP to recoup 20% grant. So 20% of the 29 million is a grant from DEEP, and then 80% is a loan. 80%
Is
of
a bond.
the 29
Is a bonding loan.
is what we have to pay
At
back
2%.
to the Clean Water Fund at 2% interest
Okay.
over 20 years.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
No, I see the confusion.
No, not at all. Any other questions on the committee for Mr. Gormley? I'll open it up to the entire council. Anyone on the council have any questions? All right, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Gormley, thank you very much. And Mr. Chairman, we're going to have to set a public hearing for this, so I'm going to rescind or have my first and second rescinded, please.
I withdraw my second.
I withdraw my first.
Thank you. And I'd like to set the public hearing for August 25th at 6:50 p.m.
6:50 on August 25th, yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, up next is Communication K from Michael Gormley, Finance Director, regarding a transfer of funds from Capital Non-Reoccurring Project Reevaluation. Capital Non-Reoccurring Projects Reevaluation 355-999-000-55670-0020202 in the amount of $143,300 and 0 cents for local design cost on the grant through the State of Connecticut Local Transportation Capital Improvement Program, also known as LOCIP. Programs State Project L156-005 for sidewalk improvements to Benham Hill Road, Morgan Lane, and Shingle Hill Road. I would like to open this up for discussion.
Motion.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Gormley, do you mind just, or Mayor Board, did you want to say something first? Then
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I could summarize
appreciate
this
it.
really very quickly.
Thank you.
So LOTSIP is a program through the state of Connecticut. There's LOCIP, that you get town road aid and you get, upgrades. And LOTSIP is another program where you get the funding of the project fully paid for, but you are required to pay for the design work. So it came to our attention that LOTSIP funding was available for sidewalks around Shingle, Benham, and Morgan Lane. So we're trying to put sidewalks around as many schools as we can. And that's a school that doesn't have towards Bailey sidewalks. So when we found out that funding was available, we have to pay for the design. So we were looking to transfer the cost of the design so that we can get the $1.7 million back for the project cost. So I don't want to say I don't want to say the word no brainer. But it's like we put out 143 and then we get the whole project paid for. So we have a lot of LOTSIP projects now that we are exploring.
So, as you know, we just finished revaluation. So, we paid for all the costs of revaluation, and there was some funding left over. We fund this account every year at an estimated number based on what we think revaluation is going to occur the next time we do it. So, we generally put between $100,000 and $150,000 in each year. But when we looked and we were trying to find matching fund, as the mayor said, it was a no-brainer to try to find $143,000 somewhere to cover $1.7 million in sidewalk. We looked at our reval account and figured we had some funding left over from there, and we are confident between taking this funding, the balance, and what we'll put in the next 4 years, we'll have enough funding for a reval in the next cycle that it happens.
Yeah, I just want to, I will say that this is an absolute no-brainer. It's a high-traffic area, Morgan and Shingle Hill, lots of vehicles, heavy foot traffic with the school zone. So I'm thrilled that this is getting done. And thank you for just being creative and just finding, relatively small amount of money, but money that we don't need right now without, impacting the taxpayers. So just well done by everybody, and thank you.
Of course.
Just want to add one other thing. Doing the design is very complicated. So when we look at some streets can't be done because of the width of the street. And we also have to get easements from folks on these streets. So it's not a project that's going to happen overnight. It's probably going to be like a 2-year project. And just rest assured that we look at all of these areas, but some we can more readily do than other areas because of the intricacies and the infrastructures around those particular streets. So we do look at all of them.
Thank you, Mayor Borer. Any other questions? Councilman McMillan.
So my question would be the Great Carrigan.
So
Okay.
Ernie and I have looked at Carrigan, and what LOTSIP does is, so the sidewalks have to be contiguous, and around Carrigan we have sidewalks and then no sidewalks, sidewalks and then no sidewalks, and they won't do spot sidewalks. So we're looking for other ways to upgrade and improve the sidewalks, because it has to be. It's very strict because they give you this money, but Carrigan was one of the first places we looked. It wasn't an easy one to do, so but we continue to look at it.
Any other questions? Mr. Gormany, did you have anything to add to that?
No.
Good?
Nope, I'm good.
Just making sure.
I think this is my last one. I'm good.
I really appreciate it. Seeing there are no more questions, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Gormany. I appreciate it. Our last communication is Communication D from the June 23rd, 2025 agenda from the Community Development Administration regarding approval of the block grant program year 5-1 budget. I would like to entertain a motion for discussion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Anyone have any questions? Councilman Varga.
I don't have any questions, but I just want to make a record. I do not think that I have a conflict, but I just want to disclose that I am the chair of the Board of Trustees for the First Congregational Church, who is slated to receive money from this for a handicap ramp. I am technically the applicant for that, but I am not receiving any personal benefit. It's all going to the church.
Right.
And my wife is a board member of the community house, and they are receiving money for the Head Start. But again, she's not receiving any personal benefit, but I just wanted that on the record.
I appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thank you very much, Councilman. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing there are none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Chairman, the time is now 8:47, and your Committee on Finance is now closed.
Thank you. Moving on to legislative matters, Councilman Moneybag Vargo.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The time is, I think I could afford another watch. 6:47. Your Committee on Legislative Matters is now in session. Council members present are Councilwoman Tucker, Councilman Johnstone, and myself acting as chair. On this evening's agenda is Communication I from Mayor Dorinda Borer regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 97 of the Code of the City of West Haven, the Fair Rent Commission. We do need to have a public hearing on this. However, we do have two members of the commission here to speak to this. So I'd like a motion to bring that up for discussion.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. The chairman, Dr. Stephen Mullins, and Vice Chairman Sanchez, I believe, is also here. And Colleen, hi, Commissioner.
Oh, we did? Okay, I
did.
didn't hear that.
I saw her.
All right. My name is Stephen Mullins, 355 Main Street, West Haven, chairman of the Fair Rent Commission, City of West Haven. You did receive from me a letter written addressed to Chairman Pascal that was CC'd to the council. Sorry, it's rather poorly written, but it was done rather quickly on the fly. It gives a brief synopsis of what we're asking you to do and a little bit of the history. Before the record, for everyone else here and online, the history of the Fair Rent Commission. Going off the top of my head, it was, I believe, around 1972 that the Fair Rent Commission was originally started in the city of West Haven, and West Haven was one of the first municipalities in the state of Connecticut to establish a Fair Rent Commission, so we were indeed ahead of our time. It worked for roughly 20 years, and then for reasons that I'm unaware of, and I can't find anyone else who is aware of it, but it went defunct. Recently, the state legislature has put in law that has been signed into bill that has been signed into law by Governor Lamont, requiring all municipalities within the state of Connecticut that has a population of 25,000 or more at the last census to have in place a fair rent commission. Certainly, the city of West Haven should definitely, considering the fact that we have roughly around 51% or 50% rentals ourselves. The commission, as you've heard from previous statements from others, has been very, very busy, and there's potential to be even busier. And it's very good that we have on record an ordinance that explains to the city in general what our job is and reminds us of what our job is. So this ordinance was put together, yes, by the commission. However, there was a subcommittee that was appointed, and that subcommittee did include representatives of the of renters, owners, a landlord, as well as a miscellaneous. So they're fully represented for everyone, and the head of the subcommittee is our vice chairman coming up, Christian Sanchez. And I'm going to now hand the floor over to him. You're good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the purpose of the subcommittee was to revitalize what we already had. And as he just mentioned, it was very, very little that was established back when the ordinance was first made for the Fair Rent Commission. What this new ordinance will do is act as enforcement for the Fair Rent Commission, its legitimacy. So it also adds teeth. And I also want to thank our council liaison, Chris Fargo, for helping us out a lot. But I know we modeled it after the city, I believe, North Haven, I believe? New Haven and Norwalk. I know.
Colleen,
Sorry
if you're
Yeah, there were several different ordinances that we were looking at as examples. So we basically took pieces of them from different towns, and they were much the same across the board. So we just added a lot more to make it more uniform for West Haven and not so, I should say, overbearing on landlords or tenants. But Colleen.
A good fair rent commission should not be pro-tenant or pro-landlord. We should be pro-law. So we tried to make it fair for everyone. Naturally, 99% of the complaints will come from tenants, but we want to make sure that we're fair to everyone. One of our cases, we had someone that didn't read his lease. And when we did read it, we had to grant the thing that he was asking for to the landlord because it was written right there in the lease. The gentleman actually said to us, "What? I was supposed to read that?" So, and like I said, we used New Haven's because they had just redone their ordinance, and we used Norwalk's, which is considered the gold standard of fair rent commissions. We only made a few changes to the older ordinance. There wasn't a lot to be done, but if anyone has any questions.
Well, I just want to congratulate you all for the hard work. I think that you all took the approach that similar to the chairman and I did with the Board of Ethics a few years ago, where it was antiquated and outdated, and you made it more robust. And it's something that can easily be used in 2025. So congratulations. I just have a couple of very technical questions, and I think Attorney Dorsey, they might be for you or better for you, if you don't mind. Do you have a copy in front of you?
Yes, I do.
On 97-2 appointment, towards the middle, it says, of the regular members first appointed, 4 shall serve a term of 2 years, and 3 shall serve a term of 1 year. How does that apply to the current membership?
Well, it really doesn't, because that would be the inception of the Fair Rent Commission.
So all of our appointments,
So it's
previous
history.
appointments, and the
Mhm.
appointments we're being asked for tonight, they're going to be full terms, just
Yeah.
like we. Okay.
Yes.
And then the last sentence of that paragraph: any member may be reappointed for an additional term in the manner of original appointment. Is that to serve as a term limit?
No.
Does it read that way?
Any member may be reappointed for an additional term in the manner of original appointment. I don't. Are you reading it differently than I am?
I'm concerned that for an additional term implies a term limit, and I didn't know if that was the intent.
It doesn't limit the reappointments.
Okay.
So any member can be reappointed. If you're a member and it's your third term, you can be reappointed for your fourth term.
Okay. And then on the last page, my last question, 97.8 appeals. What's the time limitation period for the appeal?
I'm sorry, you have 97.8?
97.8 is for a party to appeal to the Superior Court a decision of the commission.
Right, so
There's-
that would be governed by general statute. The statute's not referenced within the ordinance, but you will see effective of amendments to state law 9710. Any amendments to the state law related to fair rent commissions will be automatically incorporated into this chapter. So that might change.
Okay.
Okay. So we can't put you have to appeal within such and such a time, because if they amend the state statute, then we would have to amend this ordinance again. The same thing with language in 97-1 establishment, first paragraph. So what this ordinance does is
It leaves it open-ended. So if
it
there's
leaves it open-ended, so we don't have to amend the ordinance every time the general statutes change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Any questions from the committee? Any questions or discussions from the council? Okay. Seeing none, I'll ask the second to rescind. Oh. What?
Wait till the end. This is for the commission. Just excuse my ignorance about the. First of all, I'm glad we have this back. You don't assist people in finding apartments here, right? Okay, you just kind of overlook.
Yeah, no. What we've done currently, they find us. So far, we've reached out to several people within the city who represent. I believe the building department was one, and 3 fire marshals, and we had, and sorry, who? Oh, and sorry, health as well. So whenever they see issues come to them, which what we understood is what typically happened, and what would backlog a lot of their work, they would start to redirect them to us. So that way we could just handle it from there, but not necessarily helping people look for apartments. We would just take the case for what they have right now. If they have an apartment, they have a lease or an agreement, and they're paying rent, they believe it's unfair, they have the opportunity to make an application with the Fair Rent Commission, and then we'll take it up from, I believe, one of the 2 Tuesdays of the month.
Thank you for that.
Oh, sorry, and living conditions as well.
Thank you.
With the exception of Section 8.
All set.
To make it easy, anyone that is getting an excessive rental increase, I work for the Fair Rent Commission in New Haven, and believe it or not, there's landlords trying to go up $500-600 a month. So I mean, that's crazy. Anyone that has excessive rental increase or unsafe, unhealthy housing conditions, that's what we're trying to help people with.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman, and then the mayor.
Yes. Okay, that works. Thank you very much for all of your hard work. If I'm somebody who is in need of your committee, how do I get a hold of you?
All right, very good question, Mr. Chairman. So we have applications that are available in the mayor's office, the corporation counsel's office, as well as the city clerk's office. People have not had any issues getting a hold of us as far as I know. I got to thank everyone, every department in this city, because everyone has somehow or another been able to direct someone either to me or to the corporation counsel's office to get an application. We do not have the application online as of yet. I think there was some technological issues with doing that. I hope in the future we can have the application online. Right now it's old-fashioned paper. There are a few times I've mailed it to certain tenants, and other times they've been instructed to come here. As you heard earlier, there is a video that is on YouTube, and I believe Mike Walsh has it on the city website also. It gives a full narrative of every step that will be taken upon a tenant filing an application. This is tenant based. A landlord cannot come and file any application at all. That's just not how it works. So if a landlord is complaining about his tenants, he has to deal with it somehow or another. But it's strictly for tenants. And as Commissioner O'Connor stated, there are certain times when the ruling is in favor of the landlord. It's gone both ways. And one particular case, the situation she mentioned, the landlord actually was not here, and it was still here for the hearing, and it still ruled in their favor. So we are very fair. We have a well balanced, as I mentioned before, number of qualifications, or I should say categories, between landlord, renters, miscellaneous, and owners. So, and which is a requirement. So everyone can give their points of view. Commissioner O'Connor is a renter, so she can give a renter's point of view. Commissioner Prokopis is a landlord; she can give a landlord's point of view. So it's not that it's one-sided. So the tenant or the landlord can. There's no reason for them to be intimidated. They've got representation on all sides. People who have an understanding of what they're going through and how they're dealing with things. I've got to thank. I've got to thank the Corporation Council for appointing Michael Todd Taylor as our assistant, or not as our assistant, excuse me, as our legal counsel. I see hiding in the corner over there is Karen Davitt, who I did not expect to see here, from Duffy something and something, who's started off helping. Sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but her firm. But she did a magnificent job with helping us at the beginning in establishing us and getting our helping us with our bylaws and so forth and getting us established. I also want to thank Deputy Corporation Counsel Michael Agello, because from time to time I have bugged him for some questions, and he's been more than happy to comply. I want the record to state that Susan Morris, the legal secretary in the Corporation Counsel's office, has been a magnificent help to the commission. She's an unsung hero. And I will say definitely the staff of Mayor Bohr. For example, today, that horribly written letter that I wrote today and sent to you, I did it at the desk of Debbie Collins, because I've got to give something to let them have the little notice of this and what our feelings are. And she let me sit at her computer and just type up something really quick and dealt with my not being able to line up things. Hence why it looks so bad. But this city hall has been a magnificent help, including health, the 3 fire marshals building, etc. So thank you to the entire city for being understanding. And I did not realize that how much we'd helped out until I'd heard all the testimonies from others tonight. So it means a lot. And this crew, as well as Killian Gruber and the aforementioned Effie Prokopis, Richard Desso, and that's it. Been a magnificent help. We're a great team. We work well together. We come from all different backgrounds, and And this is how every commission in the city of West Haven should be. Right, Mayor? Okay.
Thank you for that
Did
info.
I answer your
Thank you,
question,
Chairman.
by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. I know I went into a little tangent there.
All set, Chairman? Mayor?
Thank you.
I just want to take the opportunity. This is a very hardworking, very important work. It's a little full circle for me because West Haven was one of the first, as Steve mentioned, to have a fair rent commission. You know, there was forethought in how important this was. It became defunct. Many cities did not have a fair rent commission. And when I was a state representative, I was proud to be one of the people that passed the law to require all cities to have a fair rent commission. And that really all came to light during COVID. So during COVID, the prices, as you know, Colleen had said, people were turning around and facing a lease renewal of $600 a month, and families were already battling those financial challenges. So the law was passed, and it was passed to make sure it was equitable and fair on landlord and, you know, tenant makeup. And it's landlord, tenant, and then somebody who is neither. Yeah, somebody who is neither.
I'm the neither.
The neither, yeah. But these folks work really, really hard, and our office and the clerk's office is very often the first stop when people are having challenges with any issue. So we do work hand in hand, and a lot of people know what to do. I have to give a lot of credit to Steve. I was going to say it on his reappointment, but I'll say it now, because he is a chairman who went out and did that video. And when he did that video, I said, wow. I mean, this was an educational video for the public so that they can understand. We don't want to just create boards and commissions to say, check a box. We want to make sure people know about them. We communicate and we help the residents who need the help. And it's also for the landlords as well, because sometimes there's challenges. And I know exactly the person that came to you and said, and, you know, landlord, they signed a lease and their rent was going up. And the landlord said, you signed the lease. So I just want to really thank you all for your work. You know, and thank all of you for, you know, confirming the appointments in 2024. This was the first board and commission that I wanted to staff. And I selected all of you because I knew you would rise to the occasion, and you have. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Councilwoman Callahan?
Just a quick one. Good evening, and thank you all again. I'll reiterate what everybody said. What's the turnaround time when somebody does fill out? And is that what you call it, an application if there's an issue? What is the turnaround time?
Well, usually it's designated by the chair, but I would say within about 2 weeks, usually. Usually about 2 weeks.
All right, so if somebody asks one of us, we can kind of give them the correct answer. All right, wonderful. Thank you.
You have to give the landlords a 2-week notice. So it could be anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 days, depending on when we meet.
I see. Okay, great.
And
Oh,
a
the
decision.
decision, yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, you mean decision? Yes.
No, I just meant the application, the response to the application.
There's additional info. Sure.
Keep in mind the decisions so far, our decisions have been made at the actual meetings, at the actual hearings so far. Except for there may have been one time when we were going to postpone it for another, not postpone it, but I'm sorry, continue it to another meeting. But in that interim time period, the tenant decided to move.
Oh, I see. I mean, if somebody fills out the paperwork and applies, how long does it take for someone on your committee to respond to them? That's kind of where I was going with the question.
Pretty much immediate. So how it works, they get the application, they fill out the application, they have notarized it because I want to make sure that it's legit. They get notarized, they bring it to the Corporation Counsel's office. Michael Todd Taylor will examine it, make sure it is something that we can hear. All right. Once that is completed, they're assigned by Mrs. Morris a docket number, and then a letter is sent to them, to the tenant, and to the landlord with the application. So the tenant's going to get the application they've already sent. The landlord is going to get the application with the cover letter stating when the hearing will be.
I see.
So usually that hearing, considering that we do meet, typically meet two Tuesdays a month. What's the first and third? First and third Tuesdays of the month. to, and we have at the very least, well, usually no more than 2 hearings. One exception of 3, but 2 hearings per meeting. And if it's a time that we just don't have any hearings going on, or we don't have any other business, then we will just cancel the meeting.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. All set.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, may I have my second rescind?
I withdraw my second.
And withdraw the first? Who was? I think it was you. It could be you now.
I withdraw my first.
Thank you.
Or whoever's first it was. No, just kidding.
Okay, so I'm going to ask that this be set down for a public hearing on August 25th at 6:55.
Sounds good.
Thank you. And that concludes the business of the Legislative Matters Committee. Time is 9:10, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We move on to Personnel and Civil Service now, and temporary chair, Mr. Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The time is 9:10. Your Committee on Personnel and Civil Service is now in session. Councilpersons present are Councilman Donovan, Councilman Johnstone, and myself acting as chair. First item on this evening's agenda is Communication G from Mayor Dorinder Boer regarding the reappointment of Stephen R. Mullins, 22 Oak Road, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission. Mr. Mullins' reappointment will be effective immediately and will expire on February 26, 2027. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
As the liaison to the council liaison to the commission, I've been able to witness firsthand Commissioner Mullins's, Chairman Mullins's leadership on the meetings. He is very thoughtful, very attentive to everybody who has come before him. I've looked at past meetings and past hearing minutes, and just think that you're doing a very commendable job, and happy that you're going to be staying around. Any discussion?
Only if he's voted in.
I think it'll be okay. Councilman Donovan.
Yeah, I've known Mr. Mullins for a couple days now, and Steve's always been out there helping out and everything. The only suggestion I have, Steve, is you need to talk a little more.
Yeah.
Sometimes, your communication's a little quick. But yeah, I'm definitely in favor of this. I've heard only good things about the whole commission, let alone what Chairman Mullins has been doing. So I'm definitely for this. So thank you.
Any other discussion? Mayor?
Yes, I want to really thank our Chairman Mullins because you did an exceptional job. It was a tough commission to get up and running, and you led the charge, and you were fair, and you were very focused on making sure things are done right. Paige mentioned earlier that she never thought she would be standing up speaking in favor of you. You and I, too, have run against each other in the past, and when I was starting this commission, you were one of the first people I thought of. So it's not about politics, it's about West Haven first, and certainly about helping our residents, and you've really proven that, and I'm glad we work well together. So thank you.
Councilwoman Tucker?
And I just want to also recognize Steve, and you're one of the people that I think I have seen out in the public the longest committed to the city of West Haven and just doing the work of the city of West Haven, no matter what capacity it was in. You've just been a long-term advocate for the people of the city of West Haven. And most recently, I too got a chance to work more closely, with you, with the Black Heritage work that we're doing, and that's when I got to know you just a little bit better. And I can just say that I think that your heart is really, really in it, and you're very passionate about the things that you're doing on behalf of the citizens of West Haven. And so I'm not surprised that you're doing a great job, but I too would recommend you for a reappointment. So thank you for all that you do.
Councilman McMillan?
I'll be really quick. I want to just thank you for what you've done as well, Steve. And I just saw your face in shop right on the cart there.
Also, isn't there a bus depot too? I think it's a bus depot. Not anymore. And And just for the record, because I know it's not online for privacy reasons, but just for a matter of record, we do have in our packets Steve's voter registration card and his ethics form. Everything seems to be in order. Any other discussion? Councilwoman Callahan?
Well, Steve already knows he's got a lot of cheerleaders here, but I also want to cheerlead for Colleen, who has always been passionate and very committed to the city. And to the other gentleman, I'm sorry, your name escapes me. Sorry, Christian. I do love Steve, and he's our fearless leader in this, but also you folks, I'm sure, work just as hard. So I just want to say thank you again. Great team. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Yeah, on the matter to reappoint the chairman, Dr. Reverend Stephen R. Mullins. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Remember Jonah.
I think you have a little bit of room for a couple more titles, Steve. Yes, that was just committee. Up next is Communication H from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding the reappointment of Effie Prokopis, 18 Wildwood Terrace, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission. Ms. Prokopis's reappointment will be effective immediately and expire on March 25th, 2027. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. And again, just for housekeeping, we do have Ms. Prokopis's voter registration card and ethics form, and everything seems to be in order with that. Any discussion? Mayor?
Yes, I also want to thank Effie for all the hard work she's doing. She's not here tonight because she had a prior obligation, but she just rest assured is very determined. I know she works really well on the committee, completely worthy of her reappointment, and she's been an asset. So I'm very happy and pleased to reappoint her. But I just want to, well, even though we're on Effie, I just want to shout out to Colleen and Christian too, because I know these are two reappointments that are up for reappointment, but in no way does that slight the two of them. They're just not up for reappointment yet. And we will be certainly praising their glory as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, for the committee, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. That concludes the business of the Personnel and Civil Service Committee. Time is 6:19, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Moving on. Wow.
Yeah, it's Back to the Future. It's now 9:17.
All right, now that we're back from the future, moving on to Public Lands Committee. Moving on to Public Lands Committee, Chairman Donovan.
Thank you, Chairman. The time is now 9:17. Committee on Public Lands is now in session. Members present is Councilwoman Callahan, Councilman Vargo, Councilman Johnstone, myself acting as chair. We have before us today Communication G from June 23rd, 2025, agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding a request for approval of the sale of the following two properties to West Haven Housing Authority, DBA Savin Rock Communities, Inc., for $50,000. A 0.25 acre property located at 1185 Campbell Avenue with the city map lot designation of map 60 and lot 124, and a 0.18 acre property located at 1189 Campbell Avenue with a city map lot designation of map 60 and lot 122 with an open space deed restriction. I'd like to bring this out. I'd like to make a motion to bring this out favorably.
Motion to approve.
Second. Discussion. Good. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Communication H from the June 23rd, 2025 agenda from Micah Jello, Deputy Corporation Counsel, regarding an offer to transfer title to the real property located at 164 Roosevelt Avenue from Donna Marie Chapin and Marino Lamoro to the city of West Haven. I'd like a motion to bring this out for denial.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to reject.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Councilman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my understanding that these owners live out of state and they inherited this very small piece of property that abuts several other properties on Roosevelt. I did drive by there. Yeah, it's there's a lot of rock. You can't develop it. It holds absolutely no strategic or economic value to the city. And while I feel bad that they're in this situation, I sympathize that they're paying taxes on this. I just don't see why the city and the taxpayers should shoulder it and insure it and take on that liability. So unfortunately, I'm in favor of declining their offer.
Thank you. All set?
All set, thank you.
Anybody else on the committee? Chairman Johnstone.
Thank you, Chairman. I also agree with Councilman Vargo. Drove by myself. It's nothing personal. It's a very difficult and awkward situation. As much as we appreciate the offer, it doesn't align with what we're trying to do in the city and move forward. We're trying to lessen our problems, not create one, because I personally feel if we do take it, we are not going to be able to get rid of it. Like I said, it's a very tough situation. We appreciate the offer that they reached out to us, but it's just an unfortunate situation. We're going to have to say no. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Anybody else for discussion? With that, all in favor of denial?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? It dies in committee. With that, the time is now 9:20, Chairman, and your Committee on Public Lands is now finished.
Thank you, Chairman. We will now reconvene to the whole council at 9:21. On the agenda for unfinished business, we had the matter of the Registrar of Voters personnel. I know that is underway right now. We received information from, or Corp Council has received information from the Office of the Registrar, and we're formulating a plan to get out to the Secretary of State. Does anybody want Corp Council to come up for any questions on the matter, or we're good? Okay, we can move on.
Chairman,
Yes.
I'm sorry, just for public knowledge, if you wouldn't mind explaining where we're at, if that's okay. Thank you.
So at I believe the last council meeting, in my absence, Deputy Corporation Counsel Mike Agello addressed this issue, and it was suggested that he request or receive a letter from the Republican Registrar of Voters with a list of duties that her what she calls her administrative assistant, list of her job duties. We contacted both the Secretary of State and the Election Enforcement Commission to first find out who would be receiving such a request from us, whether we can ask that for a legal opinion, and how to frame it. And then we determined that a little more clarification is needed from the registrar with respect to her list and exactly what's being done by this employee and whether it meets the statutory definition of an assistant registrar. So that's where we're at right now. By next meeting, we should have hopefully some response from the state. We can't control how fast the state moves, but we certainly will be moving forward post-ASAP.
Thank
Any
you
other
for
questions?
that update. I appreciate that update. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you for that explanation. All right, any other discussion on that? Okay, moving on. We're going to move on to committee reports. Will the clerk please read communication A, overpayment of refunds, into the record?
Communication A from the tax collector regarding overpayment refunds for July 2025 will be filed with tonight's minutes.
Thank you. And first up for communication, I'm sorry. First up, we have Chairwoman Akbarali.
Thank you, Chairman. Communication B to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven. Your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of the animal shelter donations, reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, the West Haven Police Department has received the following donations totaling $300 to the animal shelter. Per Connecticut Statute 7-148C, 3, A and B, and General Order 98-04. We are forwarding these donations for approval. The City Council approved the following motion at a regular meeting held on July 28, 2025. Resolved, the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the animal shelter donations to be deposited into the animal shelter donations account number 101-00000-28285. Jeffrey A. May, $300. Totaling $300, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding animal shelter donations. Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Communication C, to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of a request to approve a waiver of all permitting fees for upcoming Special Olympics Connecticut Fall Festival bocce competition scheduled for September 13th and 14th. Reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the waiver of all permitting fees for the Special Olympics Connecticut Fall Festival bocce competition to be held on September 13th and 14th, 2025, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding a request to approve a waiver of all permitting fees for the upcoming Special Olympics Connecticut Fall Festival bocce competition. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Communication D, to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven. Your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of the review and approval of the tentative agreement between the City of West Haven and West Haven City employees, Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO Local 1103. Reports that the committee met on the 20th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Whereas, pursuant to the provisions of Connecticut General Statutes Section 7-467, the City of West Haven and employee representatives of West Haven City Employees Local 1103, Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO, engaged in collective bargaining and arrived at a tentative agreement for an employee contract commencing retroactive July 1, 2024, and to expire on June 30th, 2028, which agreement has now been reduced to writing, and whereas, pursuant to the provisions of Connecticut General Statutes Section 7-474, and proposed written agreement has now been submitted to West Haven City Council for its approval. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves and authorizes the city to enter into agreement between the City of West Haven and West Haven City Employees Local 1103, Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO. Further resolved, Dorinda K. Borer, as mayor of the City of West Haven, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents related to this resolution on behalf of the City of West Haven, and to do and perform all acts and things which she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding a request to approve the tentative agreement between the City of West Haven and the Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO, Local 1103, for the term of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2028. Do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Just make sure when you're seconding, your mic is on. Thank you.
All set? All right. Communication E, to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven. Your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of Michael Gormany, Finance Director, regarding an amendment to the FY25-26 five-year capital budget, reducing police vehicles by $250,609, DBW vehicle purchase by $100,000, DBW equipment by $100,000, traffic control signals by $100,000, WPCA outfall by $300,000, plant hardening by $300,000, and creating a new project, Axon body cameras and dash cameras, with a budget of $1,150,609. Reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Whereas the City of West Haven desires to upgrade the police body and in-car dash camera system at a first-year cost of $1,650,608.50, and whereas it has been determined by the City Finance Director that the new capital improvement project has been established within the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget to accomplish its upgrade through the reallocation of capital project funds as follows. Police vehicles, $250,609. DPW vehicle purchase, $100,000. DPW equipment, $100,000. Traffic control signals, $100,000. WPCA outfall, $300,000. Plant hardening, $300,000. Total reallocation, $1,150,609. And whereas the balance needed to finance the first year camera upgrade project in the amount of $499,999.50 will come from the budgeted police special duty funds. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of West Haven, by and through its finance director, is authorized to create a capital improvement project within the fiscal year 2025 to 2026 budget to upgrade police body and in-car dash camera systems, and be it further resolved that the City of West Haven, by and through its finance director, is authorized to reallocate the capital improvement funds in fiscal year 2025 to 2026 budget as set forth above in the amount of $1,150,609 to partially fund the first year costs of police body and in-car dash camera systems upgrade. And I so move.
Thank you very much. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding an amendment to the fiscal year 25-26 five-year capital budget and creating a new project, Axon body cameras and dash cameras, with a budget of $1,150,069. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Communication F, to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven. Your Committee on Finance, to whom the matter was referred from Michael Gormany, Finance Director, regarding a request for City Council approval allowing the Mayor or Finance Director to join a Sourcewell cooperative purchasing agreement with Axon Enterprises for police body cameras and dash cameras. Reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following be presented. Whereas the City of West Haven desires to enter a 5-year Sourcewell cooperative purchasing agreement with Axon Enterprise, Inc. to upgrade and service police body and in-car dash camera systems. And whereas Section 42-14 of the Code of the City of West Haven allows for the city purchasing agent to join with other government bodies in cooperative purchasing agreements, such as the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement with Axon Enterprise, Inc., and whereas Section 42-15A of the Code of the City of West Haven requires this council to approve all contracts that are longer than 3 years in length. Therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves and authorizes the City of West Haven to execute an agreement, the terms of which shall be substantially shall be in substantial conformity with those set forth in the document titled City of West Haven Contract, Piggyback Agreement submitted to the council by the way of Communication F on the agenda for its regular meeting held on July 28, 2025. Be it further resolved, Dorinda Borer, as the mayor of the City of West Haven, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents related to this resolution on behalf of the City of West Haven, and to do and perform all acts and things which she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding a request for city council approval allowing the mayor or finance director to join a Sourcewell cooperative purchasing agreement with Axon Enterprises. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Communication J, we are setting a public hearing on August 25th at 6:50 p.m.
Correct.
Communication K to the... Oh, sorry.
I think we need a first read on that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second. I'm
Sure.
Communication J from Abdul Gatir, City Engineer, regarding a bond ordinance for the planning, design, and construction of Dawson Avenue Pump Station and East Avenue Pump Station in the amount of $29,800,000. We are setting a public hearing on Monday, August 25th at 6:50 p.m. All right. Communication K. To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July, 2025 to consider said matter. A transfer of capital non-reoccurring project funds reevaluation for project design costs to secure local transportation capital improvement program grant funds for sidewalk improvements. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved, that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves a transfer of funds from the capital non-reoccurring project reevaluation account number 355-99900-55670-00202 in the amount of $143,300 for the local design costs associated with a grant award from the Connecticut Local Transportation Capital Improvement Program. State project number L156-005 for sidewalk improvements to Benham Hill Road, Morgan Lane, and Shingle Hill Road. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding a transfer of funds from capital non-recurring projects in the amount of $143,300 for local design costs on a grant through the State of Connecticut Local Transportation Capital Improvement Program. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing that we are all discussed out, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Communication D from the June 23rd, 2025 agenda to the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven. Your Committee on Finance, to whom was referred the matter of the approval of Communication D from the June 23rd, 2025 agenda from the Community Development Administration regarding approval of the block grant program year 5-1 budget. Reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Whereas the City of West Haven Community Development Administration has grant funds available through the Community Development Block Grant Program of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for its 51st program year, commencing July 1, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026. And whereas the City of West Haven Community Development Administration has submitted its budget for the expenditure of such grant funds to the City of West Haven City Council for review, public hearing, and approval. And whereas a duly noticed and published public hearing was held on July 28, 2025 before this council, after which this council met to review, discuss, and vote on the budget. Now therefore be it resolved, the City of West Haven Community Development Administration's budget for the grant funds available through the Community Development Block Grant Program of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for its 51st program year commencing July 1, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026 is hereby approved as presented. And I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the approval of the block grant program year 51 budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
Over there. Any discussion? You have discussion.
Do.
Councilman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just because this is technically a second vote, I just want to reiterate my prior disclosures that I made during the committee vote. That's it. Thank you.
The FBI is listening. Thank you.
Excellent.
I'm sorry. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you, Chairman. That concludes the business for finance.
Thank you. Next up, we have Legislative Matter Committee. Councilman Vargo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your Committee on Legislative Matters met on Communication I from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding an ordinance amending Chapter 97 of the Code of the City of West Haven, Fair Rent Commission. I will perform a first read of the summary, and we are requesting a public hearing on August 25th at 6:55. Summary is this ordinance amends Chapter 97 of the West Haven Municipal Code by 1, giving voting power to alternates if a commissioner is not available at a meeting. 2, authorizing the commission to report offenses that may come within the purview of other city departments, including the police and public health. 3, adds further consideration to rental matter by considering the frequency in rental changes or improvements made by a landlord. 4, provides guidance to the commission on voting and identifying a quorum. 5, establishing the criteria to file a complaint with the commission. And 6, identifying a timeline for a hearing and decision on the complaints filed. And again, requesting a public hearing on 8/25 at 6:55 p.m.
Yes,
Thank you.
Chairman, if you can move right into Personnel and Civil Service, that'd be fantastic.
Happily. To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Personnel and Civil Service, to whom was referred the matter of the reappointment of Stephen R. Mullins, 22 Oak Street, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission, reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the reappointment of Stephen R. Mullins of 22 Oak Road, West Haven, Connecticut, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission for a term of 2 years to commence on the date of the passage of this resolution, and I so move.
Thank you very much. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the reappointment of Stephen R. Mullins to the Fair Rent Commission for a term of 2 years.
Second.
Any discussion?
My mic was on. Yours was
Okay. All in favor?
That was my motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Well, that too.
Any abstentions? Congratulations. Motion carries.
To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Personnel and Civil Service, to whom was referred the matter of the reappointment of F.E. Prokopis, 18 Wildwood Terrace, West Haven, Connecticut, 06516, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission, reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Resolved that the City Council of the City of West Haven hereby approves the reappointment of F.E. Prokopis of 18 Wildwood Terrace, West Haven, Connecticut, to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission for a term of 2 years to commence on the date of the passage of this resolution, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding the reappointment of F.E. Prokopis to the West Haven Fair Rent Commission for a term of 2 years. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
And that concludes the business of Personnel and Civil Service, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Last up, we have Public Lands. Chairman Donovan.
Thank you, Chairman. We have before us Communication G from the 623 agenda. To the Honorable City Council of the City of West Haven, your Committee on Public Lands, to whom was referred the matter of Communication G from the June 23rd, 2025 agenda from Mayor Dorinda Boer regarding a request for approval of the sale of the following two properties to the West Haven Housing Authority, DBA Savin Rock Communities, Inc., for $50,000 a .25 acre property located at 1185 Campbell Avenue with a city map lot designation of map 60 and a lot 124, and a .18 acre property located at 1189 Campbell Avenue with the city map lot designation of map 60 and lot 122 with an open space deed restriction. Reports that the committee met on the 28th day of July 2025 to consider said matter. It is the unanimous opinion of the committee that the following motion be presented. Whereas the city of West Haven desires to sell city-owned property located at 1185 Campbell Avenue and 1189 Campbell Avenue in accordance with an offer and purchase agreement received from the West Haven Housing Authority, DBA Savin Rock Communities, Inc., for the combined purchase price of $50, and whereas in further consideration, $50,000, sorry. And it's past 9 o'clock. In the purchase of $50,000, and whereas in further consideration of such sales, the West Haven Housing Authority and Savin Rock Communities, Inc. have agreed to a deed restriction limiting the use of the properties to open space. And whereas pursuant to the provisions of Connecticut General Statute, Section 8-24, West Haven Planning and Zoning Commission has reported back to the City Council favorably on the sale and proposed use of the properties as open space. And whereas the City Council of the City of West Haven held a public hearing on Monday, July 28, 2025, to review and discuss the offer and purchase agreement. Resolved that the City Council of the City of West Haven, after review and due consideration of the offer and purchase agreement, hereby accepts the offer received from the West Haven Housing Authority, DBA Savin Rock Communities, Inc., for the purchase of the properties located at 1185 Campbell Avenue and 1189 Campbell Avenue for the combined purchase price of $50,000. Further resolved, Dorinda Bora, as mayor of the City of West Haven, is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents related to this resolution on behalf of the City of West Haven, and to do and perform all acts and things which she deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents in substantial compliance, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents, and I so move.
Thank you. I have a motion to approve a matter regarding a request for approval for the sale of the following two properties to West Haven Housing Authority, DBA Savin Rock Communities, Inc., for $50,000. A .25 acre property located at 1185 Campbell Avenue and a .18 acre property located at 1189 Campbell Avenue with an open space deed restriction. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a third and a fourth on that one. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All set. And we're all set with public lands. Do we have any council liaison reports this evening? Councilman Callahan.
Thank you. We're getting silly. Marginal Drive, yes, I worked with the mayor and Ricky Fontana, and we got together with Public Works from New Haven. They have a new person there, or maybe just got into a different position, Max. So we went down there. All three of us met. We were trying to come up with some kind of plan to help with the dumping. And thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Public Works and the police department, and of course Ricky. We all got together and we decided that throwing out a lot of ideas, that we were able to put in that tall camera with also, I don't know if you call it a billboard, that just lets people know that, smile, you're on candid camera. So thank you all the departments. And my husband drives by there every morning to go to work, and he said has not seen any dumping since that was put in place. So thank you, everyone, for helping out. And I'm sure that everyone down there is happy as well.
Fantastic. Any other council liaison reports? Councilman Johnstone.
Thank you, Chairman. In regards to our last meeting and a couple previous ones, we did pass some ordinances that have already made a big difference. The first one being the soliciting. Just talking to Captain Romano recently, there has been huge strides with that. And then we go to the next one, which is what I'm updating. When we passed the ordinance to ban the random placing, if you will, of promotional signs around public property. Please be patient. I will be meeting with Captain Romano and Chief Perno in the coming weeks. The reason being why is the other ordinance, and the mayor may be able to chirp in on this as well. The soliciting took months of planning and execution, and then we roll into the next one. Tell your constituents, please be patient. I know right now, we're still in the middle of the summer. We're starting to see signs pop up. You got power washing in the West Shore. You've got tag sales going on around town, and people are forgetting to take down their signs. Just tell your constituents, please be patient. As it stands right now, I should have some form of plan of execution. I did ask Captain Romano if he could possibly join us the next meeting. He's going to see based on his schedule. But that course of action of how to report those problems are now in the works. Mayor, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything to that. Okay. So that is the report on that. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Any other council liaison reports? Councilwoman Tucker.
I just want to recognize Sheila Carmen, John Carano, all the team for all the just amazing work they're doing with that health department. I'm very, very happy to see that they're as active as they are. But there's a couple of things that are coming up, and I know that Sheila Carmen plans to have the mammography van out in front of City Hall on September 29th, and they'd like to have at least 15 people signed up. They really want to make sure people are aware that they're out there and they're going to be there for people to come out and get their mammograms if they need it. We all know it's a very difficult procedure to get scheduled for in some instances, so this is very convenient to have them located right here in the city. So they just need people to go ahead and sign up in advance of the event, which will be on the 29th of September. So I just want to remind people to do that. But I just want to just acknowledge the fact they're very active. They're out doing walks in the community. They set up showers for the unhoused. They're just doing a tremendous amount of work, and a significant presence, is being made. All the resources that I made mention of when we were at our DTC meeting, I just want to highlight. It's very exciting to see, the health department becoming more prominent and more active in the community, especially at this time in our history where, people are really struggling with resources and, just the ability to get the care that they need with less than what they would like to have, access to. So I just think it's a wonderful, way to give people access to the care that we have available to them. So I just wanted to put that out there and just really thank them for the work that they're doing, and thank the mayor for the support of all of these initiatives. I mean, it seems like when we're talking about it here in council, it's conceptual, but when you really see it in motion, people are being helped. And I think that's the passion that everybody has behind it when, we're working with people. So thank you. I'll find out. I think you can reach out to the health department. Not if you need it, you need it. It doesn't matter who you are. If you need it, that's what they want. It doesn't, Okay. There will be a flyer done by Yale, and with details and instructions on where they can sign up. More to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other liaison reports? Liaison report?
Liaison. Why would you like me to report you? He's always teasing me. Anyway, so the liaison report is can't let this go by without saying what a successful Savile Rock Festival we had. It was truly amazing. I couldn't go last year, I had to work, but it was jam-packed. And great job to the city, again, Public Works, the mayor. Each night, the bands just got better and better. And people can't say enough about those helicopter rides. So anyway, that being said, I just want to put that out there, that I think it was a very successful. A lot of people were there, West Haven people and a lot of out-of-town people. And also I want to give hats off to the fire department because they raised a lot of money for muscular dystrophy as well. So thank you to Public Works and the mayor and everybody. Oh, and of course the committee, Savile Rock committee. And Mackie for taking the helicopter ride. Thank you.
Any other liaison reports? Okay, so we'll move on to new business. You stole my thunder a little bit there because that's what I was going to talk about. I didn't attend. I had to work the entire weekend, but my wife went and said just the little changes that they made were fantastic. Putting the food trucks on the other side of the road so that the line didn't get in the way of people walking, where the beer garden was set up, the helicopter rides, which, like you said, everybody's talking about. It just was fantastic. So thank you to everybody who's involved. I'm not going to start doing individual names or anything because I don't know exactly how many people go into getting something like that done, but thank you to everybody that put that together. Any other new business? Councilman Donovan.
No, I'm probably stealing the mayor's new business, but this Sunday is Acoustic Sunday, so bring a coffee, bring a chair. They've been having excellent groups down there, single people, groups and couples. So I'm hoping the Heffernan will be there this Sunday as well, because if not, he's back. Okay, I get roommate, but yeah, it's 9 to 11. Right, 9 to 11. Yeah, and it's a great time, and it's going to be beautiful weather. So Acoustic Sunday, we've had it all summer. Well, go on Sunday. They're much better down there. But thank you.
Any other new business? You gotta turn on your mic if you want to say anything.
I don't really have any good news about the library.
No, you don't.
No. So I'm very sorry to report that. So right now it's a rather sad, sorry bunch. But I don't really have any good news. So
Any other new business?
no, but the 4th of July, we haven't met since 4th of July, and it was one really, really great. Right? We haven't had a meeting since the fireworks, which went off without a hitch and really was quite seamless. So thank you to the committee.
If there's no other new business, we'll end off with the incomparable Mayor Borer.
So, actually, you said it all. I was going to talk about the festival. It was amazing. So a lot of planning. There's a committee. Sherry and Ed led the committee, so I really thank them for all their work. Ricky Spryer, of course, Rick Fontaine, the whole committee. You're right. I'm not going to name everybody. Police presence at the fireworks and at the festival has been, just really comforting, and they're doing an amazing job. We've extended the police presence down the beach, by the way, right? So they're on the boardwalk and they're in their ATV. They now extend all the way down to Riva. Not just for Riva, but the residents on Beach Street were asking for more presence. Summertime is active in West Haven, right? We got a lot of activity. So now they're going all the way down there, and they do have more of a presence, and it is good for Riva as well because there's a lot of action down there. But the festival was just great. It goes to show that, we spend a lot of time listening to bands and trying to come up with you always want somebody famous, but you can't afford somebody famous. You don't need that $50,000 famous person in order to have a success and have people really enjoy it. All the bands are great. Heard a lot of great feedback. And actually, one of the bands I'm going to book for the high school for winter because we have this amazing high school and there's nothing to do in the winter, and our summer concert series should not end when our good weather ends. We'll just all go and have a concert. So that's that. Public safety press conference, we talked a lot about that. Tomorrow night, the tennis courts ribbon cutting. If any of you can make it, right, you help to put those funding into Painter Park. So it's the tennis and it's the pickleball courts. And then the lower courts, we just did asphalt so that folks can rollerblade or skateboard or whatever the hot thing is of the time, because we did the upper, and they're beautiful. So tomorrow, 6 o'clock, ribbon cutting. We're going to have a little reception, too, as well. It's going to be hot. But we're going to do the best we can to keep it short. Let's see, what else did we talk about? Hang on. Oh, I got some really great news Friday that I'm very excited about. On the bonding agenda was a proposal, a state bonding agenda. It was a proposal that I put together with James Maroney for $2.4 million to upgrade for pedestrian safety neighborhood streets around Savin Rock School and around Washington School. So we did a map and overlay of pedestrian. We work with traffic on that to see what intersections need assistance. It still needs to be voted on. It's going to be voted on Friday. So wish us luck, because that'll be a very nice investment there. You know, we built this new school and we don't have any roads and sidewalks, you know, that are up to date with the school. And that's it. And speaking of paving, you know, I know there's always questions around paving. Just a reminder, I know this, I said this in the last meeting, but we have about 360 streets in the city of West Haven. It costs about $2 million to pave every 10 streets. We've not done a lot of paving. You know, somebody had commented today that we were paving a lot in the Allentown section and not in the Shore section. I want to assure everybody we are equally paving in the 3 districts. Okay, there's 42 streets. We're paving more streets this spring and summer and coming fall than we've paved 5 years collectively together. And I painstakingly go over that list to make sure everything is equally distributed. And I spend a lot of time looking for money for paving. So I just want to correct any suggestions that are otherwise. Because my favorite thing to do as mayor is pave. Literally, it's my favorite thing to do is to find money to pave to see those beautiful streets. So we're working as hard as we can. And that's it. I think we said everything. Right? Yep. I think we had everything.
Johnstone's up next, but I actually want to add something onto Councilman Johnstone's plate. I don't know how long this enforcement's been going on, but recently I saw there were some kids in the middle of the street doing the wheelies and obstructing traffic, being very unsafe. And there was enforcement that had happened. A pickup truck pulled up after they were pulled over. The bikes were confiscated. What do you know about that?
Mr. Chairman, the rest of the council, what I can tell you is there are reports of out-of-towners with a bicycle takeover. The police acted quickly, and they rerouted them away from the beach and the festival. There were arrests made. I can't go into details of that, but there was a lot of juveniles. There were several adults. There was multiple out-of-towners. It was handled quickly, swiftly, and a lot of residents didn't even know it happened until it was posted on Facebook. So kudos to the police, all the captains that were on call. I don't know if the mayor wanted to add to that, but that's pretty much the detail I can go in. But it was handled in a timely fashion. It's unfortunate of the timing that it happened, but it was handled very quickly, to say the least. Did that answer your question? Okay.
Did you have anything else, sir? Yep.
Before I forget, personal thank you to the mayor, because if I don't say this, I'm going to have hundreds of family members down my throat. Every year, there's a conflicting schedule. Personally with me, I was only able to make the festival at the very end of it because we made history in West Haven on Saturday as well. The Hubbard family, as many of you know, I'm part of it. We celebrated our 100th and 70th consecutive family reunion, and we are the second longest in the country. So thank you to the mayor for showing up to that at your busy schedule. I do have people that have been asking me. There was a tree that was planted on the corner of the property. Just kind of be mindful and respectful because my parents do live there. We did plant the tree in a memorial stone for a longtime supporter of West Haven that used to live here and grew up here, Eugene Chester Hubbard. The mayor, when she was state rep, she had the privilege of giving him a proclamation for turning 100 a couple years ago. He passed away this year at the age of 102, 2 weeks shy of his 103rd birthday. So, but thank you, Mayor, for that. That was well appreciated. And that's pretty much it. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Callahan?
I just want to say just something to follow with the mayor with paving. Please, everyone, if you see people paving, it's hot out there. These guys are working in 100 degrees. Please be mindful of them. I've seen it twice myself where the roller has just gone by and somebody pulls out of their driveway. They have to go back and redo it. So please, 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 the mayor just said how much it does, how much time, work and money goes into this paving. Please, please be respectful. If you see paving anywhere, give it at least 2 hours minimum with this heat because it has to dry. I've seen it twice, and I've also seen a car where there was 6 cones blocking the street, and they drove over the residents' property to get to their driveway. So, and they had to go back and re-roll that. So I'm just asking everyone, as much as the mayor is fighting and all of us are for paving every single street, if you do see any street paved, please be respectful and mindful of them because it is a very hot, laborious job, and we don't need to make it harder. And speaking of the heat, I just forgot, and I want to mention Allentown Fire Department. They were on spot on Route 34. A fire broke out on the reservoir side this week, and they were there in seconds. That whole reservoir could have went up. The response was amazing. So kudos to Allentown Fire Department. They were there, 3 engines on top of it, and they stayed for hours. 34 was shut down for a couple hours, as everybody knows. So just be mindful what you throw out the window or what, you know. So that just being said, thank you to Allentown as well for being right on it because that could have been a lot worse. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, one more thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know it's late. I'm sorry. I just want to go back to the paving. So what we did was we changed course to make sure the milling and the paving are tighter together. So what was happening was we're milling and then the street doesn't get paved for a month because they're separate. So Phil Sissick, our public works director, worked to make sure they're only like a week apart. And now we also sent out letters to the streets we're doing saying, your street is going to be paved, you know, in the upcoming weeks. You will be milled, you know, you will, you know, the limited access, you know, caution, all of that. And we're putting more signs up, and it's really the milling we're worried about because they could hit the tire, but, you know, making a shorter time frame. And then the VA streets. So we finally got the contract back from the state of Connecticut, which is good. So all of those streets around the VA are finally, we try to match them up with the sidewalks as well. So remember, when it's a major project, we got to do the paving and the sidewalks together. So that's why they take a little longer, but we finally got that contract back, and we'll be getting those done. We got a lot of streets we're getting done.
Great news. Thank you. Councilman McMillan.
This question is for the mayor. Is it possible to get a list of those streets for the council people so we know what's going on in the districts and we can then reinforce, I guess, that for a better lack of words, what's going on as far as our
Great idea.
Thank you.
I will send you each your streets because, again, every street is every district is equally being paved.
Any other new business? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Nobody's opposed? No abstentions? Thank you. Thank you for melting with us tonight.